future, their future. So we're updating it to give kids the tools they need to support positive mental health, develop real-life skills, and prepare for what's next. So they're ready to rise to every test, during school and after. Learn how the government is improving your child's educational journey at ontario.ca/education for tomorrow. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Apparently everybody knew I wasn't streaming anymore except for me.
Help make this year's holidays brighter for patients at CAMH through Gifts of Light. When you support Gifts of Light, a patient in need receives a gift that reminds them they aren't alone this holiday season. Small gifts can make a big difference to someone living with mental illness. Please, give a gift of light
Highly
to someone
symbolic.
giftsoflight.ca
Yes.
today.
680 News Time, 7:21.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Oh, Kyle Hocking.
This report brought to you by Aaron Wood Ford. We've still got problems on the westbound 401 as you travel through McCowan in the collectors. The right lane is blocked with a a stalled vehicle. Not much of a delay through there. In fact, the only slow spot in the west 401 is approaching here Ontario in the collectors west of Mavis. If you're traveling onto the 410 northbound, you're going to be into a heavy jam up. North of Williams Parkway, we have the left lane blocked with a collision. And the heavy delay here starts at Steeles all the way up to just north of Williams Parkway where the problems are. If you're looking for an alternate, I would take either Dixie to the east or Kennedy Road to the west. Either one works just fine. You can exit the highway at Steeles, exit the 410 at Steeles, and then either travel east or west over to one of those alternates. And I would go at least as far as Beauvert before you rejoin the highway. Although if you did come on at Williams Parkway, it probably wouldn't be the end of the world. If you're traveling off, coming from Dixie Road, that is, because that ramp from the westbound Williams Parkway up onto the 410 northbound, you'll just miss that 410 crash. But if you're traveling over from Kennedy Road using eastbound Williams Parkway, that ramp's going to go right into those delays. So just plan accordingly. The remainder of the highway's not bad. Eastbound 401 seeing a bit of volume from Young Express and Baby Collectors off and on over to Kennedy. Then you're free and clear. If you're on the Fort DVP northbound, heading up onto the 404, delays from just north of Don Mills up to York Mills. 404 is in good shape, in fact, same with the 400. And just a minor delay left on the westbound Gardner through Park Lawn. And that's pretty well all. Once you get past that, you're in good shape. Westbound QEW's improved through Mississauga. Only minor delays left. Log on to AaronWoodFord.com this Christmas morning for the year's best gift. Up to $1,000 in Aaron Wood bonus bucks on top of the Aaron Wood Ford year-end price. Your next report at 7:31, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
Partly cloudy tonight, and that cold front moves through, which will drop temperatures as well. Those winds do lighten up as we head toward midnight. Low of -3 will feel like -8. For tomorrow, a high of 0, a mix of sun and cloud, and then we'll see some more clouds as we head toward the afternoon and evening. By Wednesday, it's a mostly cloudy day, a high of 4 degrees. And then by Thursday, that's when we could see our next chance of some rain and also the potential for some ice pellets further east, a high of 3 degrees on Boxing Day. Tonight's overnight low, -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, clear skies, 5 degrees, and at Pearson Airport, clear and 4.
Coming up at 7:30, the latest on the city's 73rd homicide of the year. This after a man was stabbed in Parkdale this afternoon and died of his injuries in hospital this evening. We'll have the latest for you straight ahead.
680 News Time, 7:24.
Need a last-minute gift for the guy that has everything? Huh, look at that. A heavy-duty nose hair trimmer. Well, that's not insulting at all. Why don't you hurry into the Boxing Week sale at Sleep Country and give the gift of better sleep instead? Plus, get amazing prices on bedding essentials and mattresses. And get a Hot Buy Sealy Optimum Eurotop Queen mattress with cooling technology, just $449. Hurry in store or online because this price ends Sunday. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
Paul Cook and Catherine Chute.
Weekday mornings starting at 5:30.
Breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
If you're looking to wrap your gifts like a celebrity this Christmas, Kim Kardashian offering up a family secret. The reality TV star revealing in an Instagram story that her family uses cloth wrapping for their presents instead of traditional wrapping paper. She says every year each family member also picks a color so that they'll know who the gifts are from. The idea may seem a little strange to a way to wrap gifts, but using cloth is actually appearing on a list of tips for zero waste wrapping by Greenpeace Greece, Canada. Coming up in 60 seconds, all Christmas news on the 25s.
You can friend us on Facebook or follow up and tweet. We've got some posts on YouTube that we think are pretty sweet. We're the charity that wants to be the reason that you think about planning a safe ride home before you start to drink. Take a cab or be the DD are some strategies to use to keep your license, keep your car, keep your money too. Thanks for always driving sober. Find out more at arrivealive.org. Arrive Alive.
They caught somebody with 15 kilos of fentanyl. Oh,
This
really?
Boxing Week at Rogers. You can unwrap more during the Wrap and Red event. That means more of our greatest offers of the year. Like buy one, get one when you activate 2 lines for the Samsung Galaxy S10 and the Galaxy S10e. Infinite data you can share when you get them both on select 2-year Rogers Infinite plans. And more wireless listening with premium sound when you get a pair of Samsung Galaxy Buds free. Get twice the nice with Samsung BOGO and free Galaxy Buds while quantities last during the Wrap and Red event. On now at Rogers.
Christmas news on the 25 brought to you by the Scott Mission. Well, it may not be as chilly as we'd expect outside, but inside at the Scott Mission, it will be warm and welcoming. Doors will be open as they are year-round on Christmas Day at the Mission for the homeless, starting with a hot meal with all the trimmings and a Christmas gift for each guest. Since 1941, the Mission has been serving up Christmas meals, and this year more than
stuff. They
250
feel
people
bad
are
if they don't
expected on
take it,
Christmas
then they got
morning.
nowhere to
This
put
year's
it.
Christmas meal will include cream
Look,
of
it's a
tomato
sweater
soup,
I
chef
can't
salad,
wear.
roasted turkey, and homemade cookies.
Christmas news at 25 minutes past every hour on 680 News.
I'm not hating. I'm just trying to be practical.
2019 has probably
You give
been
me
the
shit.
toughest
Try to give
year
me
in
shit all the
history
fucking time.
for
I can't
Boeing,
fucking
the world's
use.
largest airplane manufacturer. Its top-selling jet, the 737 MAX, was grounded in March. Following 2 deadly crashes, it was later revealed that some employees had tried to alert executives to issues with the jet that apparently fell on deaf ears. Well, today, the Boeing CEO, Dennis Muilenburg, was showing the door, quote-unquote, resigning. He had been CEO since 2015 and actually started at the aircraft manufacturer as an intern and worked his way up. In now is David Calhoun. He's going to be the new CEO, and Boeing seems to be taking a new direction with Mr. Calhoun. He's the
Are you
global head of private
fixing
equity at
the
Blackstone as it
plane?
stands right now. Formerly had worked at General Electric, so he's not a Boeing insider. He doesn't come from an
They
airline.
do like
And in that
Mexico and
respect,
hire a
it's a
goat
very
for the
un-Boeing hire.
CEO.
Clearly, they're
Fix
looking
the
for an
plane.
outsider to perhaps
The
change
reason
the
I won't get
culture
on planes, I'm not
inside.
afraid of
Boeing
flying.
stock up almost 3%.
I just don't like the odds.
$337 as a result. Stocks closed at record highs. The benchmarks did. The TSX up just 10 points, but an all-time high close at 17,128. The Dow up 96 points to 28,551. S&P up 2. NASDAQ up 20. Oil up to $60.66. Gold higher at $1,489. One of the biggest business news stories of the past year has been Beyond Meat, a huge IPO and a lot of attention for the plant-based protein meat company. What's next for them? Chuck Moore is the Chief Growth Officer.
Well, I think, well, sausage for sure. I mean, we know we have sausage links in the U.S., and it's really terrific. Probably it's my favorite product. So the sausage will be coming to Canada next year. We've already announced publicly that we're looking at things like bacon and steak. So you can imagine poultry is another one. So if you can imagine an animal product, we're looking at that.
Beyond Meat stock up more than 1% today, $77.74 Canadian dollar, 76 cents U.S. At the Business Center, I'm Richard Sutter.
At Sicily Honda, our family wants your family to bring home a little joy during our Bring Home a Honda event. Come in on Boxing Day for the best deals of the year and receive a 55-inch TV or 1,000 Air Miles reward miles with your purchase. All inventory has been reduced, and yes, we need your trade-in. There's also a draw each hour to win a trip to Vegas. Conditions apply. Go to SiciliHonda.com for details and visit Sicily Honda, 88 Steeles Avenue, just west of Young.
Bodog.net wants to show you how to make a play this football season. When it feels like the whole country says no, you're asking why not. When everyone and their mother has the favorite, you're taking the underdog. When all of social media says, you got no chance, you say, I got this. When everyone says it can't be done, you're already planning to treat yourself. Don't miss a chance to make a play at Bodog.net, your source of free casino games, poker strategy, and live football odds.
680 News Time is 7:30.
#1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good evening. This is Monday, December the 23rd. I'm Eden Baba.
I'm Scott Burnett. Here's what's making news this hour.
Homicide detectives are now investigating a fatal stabbing in the city's West End.
A 40-year-old man will not be released on bail after his involvement in a fatal collision.
Community safety advocates are out with an urgent reminder to drink responsibly this holiday season.
Toronto police say 3 overnight tow truck fires in North York have been classified as arsons, and they are believed to be linked.
Raptors in Indiana trying for their 6th straight win, while the Maple Leafs take a wild one at home over Carolina. Sports at 45.
Box office blunders Universal with a catastrophe with Cats over the weekend, and Disney falls on some poor attendance numbers for Star Wars. TFX, Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ not records business at 56.
This is News Sun 731.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Nikon Canada. By far the heaviest route right now is the 410 northbound. North of Williams Parkway, we have the left lane still blocked by crews dealing with a collision cleanup here, and it's jammed from Steeles to north of Williams Parkway. It's fairly easy to avoid this delay. You just have to get off the highway at Steeles, and then I would suggest probably using Kennedy Road to the west instead of Dixie to the east. Dixie's getting heavy, especially north of Queen Street up to Williams Parkway. Really jammed up in this stretch. There is a bit of volume on Kennedy Road northbound as well as you head towards Queen, just north of Glidden, seeing a heavy spot, but outside of that, it's not bad. It's better than Dixie Road. And then rejoin the highway. I would probably wait until Beauvert to rejoin. That way you'll be sure to miss all of those delays. If you're traveling the Don Valley northbound, delays here from just north of Don Mills up to York Mills with leftover volume. Westbound Gardner out of downtown now moving well. Still minor delays on the West QEW in Mississauga from approaching Dixie to west of Cawthron, but it's really not bad through there. You'll just sort of tap the brakes. If you're on the 401, we've got eastbound delays. Eastbound is the heavier side. It's busy from Bayview to Leslie Express and Collectors, and from the DVP to Kennedy, both Express and Collectors. West 401 has a minor problem on it. Approaching McCowan and the Collectors, the right lane blocked by crews as they deal with a stolen vehicle on the shoulder. Not much of a delay through there. Only busy spot on the westbound 401 is from Huron, Ontario and the Collectors to west of Mavis. Snap up a Boxing Week bargain on Nikon DSLR cameras and lenses. Right now, save up to $800 during the Capture the Savings event at your local Nikon authorized dealer. Your next report at 7:41, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
It will be a cool night across the GTA. Those winds will eventually die down after about midnight, and we'll have a partly cloudy sky down to -3. And for tomorrow, it sets up for a colder day. We do have a mix of sun and cloud, a high of 0, and tomorrow's low -1. We'll see some more clouds by the afternoon as well. Tonight's overnight low -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, partly cloudy, 6 degrees. 680 News Time 7:33.
Detectives are investigating the city's 73rd homicide of the year after a man was fatally stabbed in the Parkdale area earlier this afternoon. Paramedics say the man succumbed to his injuries in hospital.
Police telling 680 News officers were called to the King and Jameson area just before 2 o'clock. Detective Sergeant Rob North says they're searching for one suspect.
It's to believe that there's an altercation, obviously, between 2 individuals. Our victim, who's now deceased, and a male, light-skinned black, who has fled the scene on foot.
Anyone that may have witnessed the incident is being asked to contact police.
680 News Time, 7:34. The man who allegedly hit and killed 2 college students last night has been denied bail today. 40-year-old Michael Johnson from Pickering has been identified as the man apparently responsible for the crash resulting in the student's death. The judge, while denying bail to Johnson, said it, quote, wouldn't be fair to the public to release him.
Meantime, police are urging drivers to be careful on the roads as they continue to roll out their annual ride program. Here's 680's Moment Qureshi.
A long line of cars goes up the street in Scarborough as Toronto police are holding a holiday ride check program, trying to make sure people are driving responsibly.
Question is, have you had the alcohol today? No? Okay. You working hard? All right, so that's
it comes after 2 teenage boys who were Centennial College students were struck and killed by an alleged impaired driver last night. Sergeant Jason Kraft with Traffic Services says there have been about the same number of impaired driving charges this year that there were last year, and that's a problem.
So we're about the same, just slightly higher.
Is that disappointing to you that the numbers are almost exactly the same?
Absolutely. The number one is just disappointing to me. The fact that impaired driving related collisions and deaths are 100% preventable.
In Scarborough, I'm Owen Qureshi.
Meantime, a Good Samaritan calling 911 after noticing a drunk driver on the road.
Okay, one, he was in the gas station. He's trying to ask me for directions. He was just slurring. Oh, now he's trying to make a U-turn. Oh, my God. You guys got to get here.
That call led to the arrest of a 37-year-old man. You can watch the full video on the YRP
You guys gotta
YouTube channel.
get here.
Police say the number of impaired driving incidents has been steadily rising this year. More than 1,600 people have been charged, and more than 3,000 people calling in to report dangerous driving this year as well. If you suspect dangerous driving yourself, you're being asked to contact police.
A 70-year-old man is in hospital with serious injuries after being hit by a car in Mississauga. Peel police say it happened shortly after 2 this afternoon in the Kennedy and Indian Trail area. The driver involved remained at the scene. No word yet on any charges. Kennedy was closed for a while, but has since reopened.
680 News Time, 7:36. 23-year-old Samuel Opoku was back in court today. He's the man accused of throwing buckets of feces on several people in Toronto last month. Opoku's lawyer, Jordan Wise, says that his client appeared in mental health court at Old City Hall.
How did he make bail?
Everyone will be able to move on to the extent that that's possible.
Oh yeah, go just move on.
Obviously for the alleged victims, but this hopefully will just be a terrible chapter, and the entire city hopefully can move on.
Opoku was arrested by Toronto police last month after 3 attacks in and around the University of Toronto and York University campuses. He's charged with 5 counts each of assault and a weapon and mischief. He was released on bail last week.
Police in Toronto and York region investigating a string of suspicious overnight tow truck fires that all happened within minutes of each other. 680's Phil Martino reports investigators are treating each case they're dealing with as arson.
Those series of the fires happened near Finch and Bathurst around 3:30 a.m., according to Stephen Powell, District Chief with Toronto Fire.
And we found a tow truck that was on fire in very close proximity to a house.
A second tow truck fire was reported in the same area a few minutes later, and then a third near Yonge and Finch just before 4 a.m. Toronto police say they have been classified as arsons and are believed to be connected. In York region, police are investigating 2 early morning tow truck fires in Richmond Hill. Both happened around 3:30 a.m. Constable Laura Cole says police believe they were intentionally set on fire. As for the possibility of this being a tow truck war,
this has certainly come up for us too. I've been asked this, and I know it's something our investigators are going to look at.
I'm Phil Martino.
This is 680 News. The head of the UN is criticizing a court in Saudi Arabia that sentenced 5 people to death for the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The grisly slaying in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul drew international condemnation and raised questions about how it could have been carried out without the knowledge of Saudi leaders. UN spokesperson Stephanie Dujarric reports.
The Secretary General continues to stress the need for an independent and impartial investigation into the murder to ensure full examination of and accountability for human rights violations committed in the case.
A United Nations investigator tweeting that the verdicts are a, quote, mockery, while Amnesty International called the outcome a whitewash.
It was gift time for the animals at the Toronto Zoo.
Because everyone deserves a Christmas gift, especially when they're enriching.
Purpose of these items are to have the animals promote their natural behavior. So if an animal in the wild would be tearing stuff up to find food, we like to give them items that they can do that. Depending on the species of animal, we provide them with a wide variety of different enrichment items.
And the special holiday wrapping for these festive enrichments were created by the public at events that were held over the past few days. And between Boxing Day and January 5th, you can witness several of the animals receiving their festive treats. At the Toronto Zoo, Audra Brown, City News.
Coming up, traffic and weather together on the ones, but first to check on the price of the pumps.
680 News Time, 7:39.
From the excitement of their first day to walking proudly across the graduation stage, school's the start of a journey that can take kids anywhere. Our education system needs to evolve to reflect this journey, to better prepare kids for the future and the jobs of the future. So we're making updates with a focus on positive mental health, technology, skilled trades, and math, so our kids are prepared to succeed every step of the way. Learn how the government is improving your child's educational journey at ontario.ca/education for tomorrow. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Ampro says the price of gas won't change at midnight, holding at $1.18.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather together next.
680 News Time, 7:40.
Catch all the excitement of your favorite slots and table games at Casino Woodbine. Sign up for a free One Rewards membership today, and you could be eligible to get your first $250 on us. Need a lift? We've added new Toronto shuttle bus routes that will take you right to our front doors. Must be 19 plus. Rewards membership required. If you gamble, play smart. Casino Woodbine. Toronto's home for gaming and entertainment.
Hi, it's Fido. Holiday deals are in full swing, and the fun continues with Boxing Week. Keep the best gift for yourself. The brilliant iPhone XR at $0 on select 2-year plans. It's brilliant in every way, including the price. And go all out without going over, with data overage protection included on all new plans. Hurry up in store or at Fido.ca to discover more holiday deals. Conditions apply. Fido, go get it.
680 News Time 741.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report is brought to you by Leon's. As you travel to westbound 401, this is where we now have our lone problem. Approaching McCowan and the collectors, the right lane still blocked here with a stolen vehicle. Crews on the scene. Not much of a delay through there. In fact, the only delay in the westbound 401 is into Mississauga from about here, Ontario, in the collectors to west of Mavis. Slowly but surely, it's improving there. Did have this problem on the 410 northbound, north of Williams Parkway. All lanes have now reopened after a collision cleanup, but it's still very heavy from Steeles to north of Williams Parkway. It's going to take some time for this delay to ease off. Looks like most of traffic searching for alternates chose Dixie to the east. So that's quite heavy from just north of Queen Street up towards Williams Parkway. If you're looking for a better alternate than that one, try Kennedy to the west. It's a bit slow as you approach Queen Street. However, it's much better than Dixie as an alternate, and then rejoin the 410 anywhere north of Beauvais. If you're traveling the westbound 401, well, already covered that. How about the eastbound 401? This is busy through Leslie and the collectors, and then from the DVP Express and Victoria Park collectors, drags over to about Kennedy, and still a bit of volume on the northbound Don Valley Parkway leaving downtown, approaching Eglinton to York Mills. But if you're heading into the city, the South 404 Don Valley is in good shape, and no delays on the east or westbound Gardner now. Have an issue off the highways. Jameson still closed reportedly from King to Queen. That's for a police investigation. Leon's Boxing Day sale starts this Thursday. Shop amazing door crashers like a 3-piece reclining sectional for only $8.88. Quantities are limited. Visit leons.ca for details. Your next report at 7:51, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
Temperatures continue to fall tonight, and we'll have partly cloudy conditions, and those winds do lighten up as we head toward the midnight hour. A low of -3 will feel like -8. And for Christmas Eve, a high of 0 with a mix of sun and cloud. And then as we head into Christmas Day, it will be a mostly cloudy day. We may see a little bit of early sunshine and a high of +4. Tonight's overnight low, -3.
Downtown Toronto right now, we've got a partly cloudy sky at 6 degrees. At Pearson, partly cloudy and 4. 680 News Time 7:43.
The holidays can be dangerous to our pets if we as pet owners aren't careful. 680's Jim Benny looks at some of the things you should avoid.
Hope Schultz is president of WebPet.com. Food we like isn't great for Fido.
Let's take, for example, turkey. Turkey can sometimes be greasy, and people love to feed it to their pets, and that can cause a lot of gastric problems for your pet.
Christmas dinner isn't the only thing that's bad.
And there's lots of chocolate and candy, and chocolate is very toxic to pets, specifically dark chocolate. And then think about all the poinsettias that are around. They can be quite toxic and poisonous to pets.
And keep tinsel away from your cat. It could choke on it. I'm Jim Benny.
Coming up in health and lifestyle news, a major shakeup at the Vancouver International Film Festival as a top programmer faces allegations of sexual harassment.
680 News Time 7:44.
The Best Buy Boxing Day sale starts online December 24th at 6 p.m. Eastern with hot door crasher deals in every department. Save $300 on an Asus 15-inch laptop, only $649.99. Limits and effects details at bestbuy.ca.
I was hungry and you gave me something to eat.
I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink.
The Scott Mission has been helping Toronto's hungry and homeless since 1941. And this Christmas, they really need your help. You can provide a complete Christmas meal for just $4.25 per person and ensure that everyone who comes to the Scott Mission is warmly welcomed by people who care. Make your gift online today at scottmission.com or call 416-923-2400.
The Best Buy Boxing Day sale starts online December 24th at 6 p.m. Eastern with hot door crasher deals in every department. Save $800 on an LG LG 75-inch 4K TV, only $999.99. Limits and effects details at bestbuy.ca.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Partly cloudy and 5 degrees in downtown Toronto. Good evening. In the 680 News Broadcast Center, I'm Eden Deveva.
I'm Scott Burnett. Here are the top stories this hour.
A man has died in hospital after being stabbed in the Parkdale neighborhood earlier this afternoon. This is the city's 73rd homicide. At this time, the only suspect description from police is a man spotted running from the scene. And 40-year-old Michael Johnson from Pickering has been denied bail after a fatal car crash in Scarborough. Last night, 2 teens were killed and a third still in hospital after being hit by the alleged drunk driver. In court this evening, a judge denied Johnson bail, saying, quote, "It wouldn't be fair to the public." And coming up after sports, even with the help of DNA, officers are still stumped in their decades-long investigation into a woman's death. 680 News Time, 7:45. Now 680 Sports from Sportsnet, 590 The Fan. Good evening, Andy McNamara.
Thank you very much. Raptors on the road battling the Pacers, looking for their 6th victory in a row, and Toronto trailing Indiana right now in the second quarter. Well, it was a wild one in Toronto this afternoon, folks. Maple Leafs outlasted the Carolina Hurricanes 8-6. This turned out to be the winner.
So it's like a Miners in a breakaway! Oh! Do you believe this? Do you believe it? 7-6! The extra point is good!
8-6 the final. Joe Bull with the call on Sportsnet 590. The Fan. Leafs are riding a 5-game winning streak into the Christmas break. One other final in the NHL. Minnesota shuts out the Flames 3-0. And it's the last Monday Night Football game of the year as the Packers and Vikings battle for the NFC North. Kickoff at 8:15. Sportsnet 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time, 7:47.
The accolades continue for Don Alfonso 1890 Toronto. The esteemed restaurant has been named the 2nd best Italian restaurant in the world by 50 Top Italy.
Hi, I'm Nick DiDonato, president of Liberty Entertainment Group, and I want to congratulate 3-star Michelin chef Alfonso Iacarino and the entire team at Don Alfonso for receiving such an incredible international honor. We look forward to continuing to provide exceptional dining experiences here in Toronto.
To find out more, visit DonAlfonsoToronto.com.
Look, I'll drive you guys home, but you need to chill. Everyone buckle up and stop messing around. I didn't sign up as DD just to end up in a ditch.
Even sober, young drivers are 9 times more likely to crash. Speak your mind. ChangeTheConversation.ca.
Congratulations on winning the Chicago pitch. I have taxi chits here to get everyone home safely. Let's not have this win end in a loss.
Convicted drunk drivers will be stopped at the U.S. border. Change the Conversation. Sponsored by the Brewers Association of Canada.
This is the 680 News Health Report brought to you by Cold Drops. Police say the second largest fentanyl bust by the Durham Region Police has led to 1 arrest and the seizure of over $1.5 million worth of drugs. Project Berza saw 5 search warrants were executed at different locations in Toronto, York, and Durham. Confiscated items included 14.5 kilograms of fentanyl, 2.5 kilograms of meth, as well as cocaine and MDMA. Investigators also recovering a loaded firearm, ammunition, and $70,000 cash. 41-year-old Dung Nguyen from Richmond Hill is now facing multiple charges.
This health report is brought to you by Cold Drops.
1 drop for temporary relief of sore throat and nasal congestion.
Cold Drops.
Cold Drops are available at Metro pharmacies near you. This product may not be right for you. Always read and follow the label.
680 News Time, 7:49. It's a major shakeup for the Vancouver International Film Festival. One of its top programmers has been removed following allegations of violence and sexual harassment against women filmmakers. As 680's Curtis Doring reports, VIF isn't the only festival severing ties with the programmer.
In a statement, the festival cites what it calls serious allegations made on social media against a former programmer, but does not name the individual, nor does it detail what they're accused of doing. But several lengthy statements posted by filmmakers earlier this month fill in the story. One claims Adam Cook sexually harassed her at a film festival party. Another claims to have been in an abusive relationship with him, during which he punched through a door, sending shards of glass into her face. VIF has now canceled the Future Present film series Cook was in charge of. It adds it's committed to improving its safety standards and bolstering its code of conduct. Sheffield Docfest in the UK has also announced that Cook has resigned as its senior programmer, a job he had started just 1 month ago. I'm Curtis Doring.
Coming up in just 60 seconds, traffic and weather together on the ones.
680 News Time 7:50.
It all starts December 26th at 7 a.m. FactoryDirect.ca's $10 million Boxing Week inventory blowout. Crazy deals on TVs, tablets, computers, cell phones, electronics, kitchen appliances, and more. They slash prices up to 80% off. 4K TVs from $199. Dyson cordless vacuums from $229. Apple MacBooks, iPhones, and iPads all on sale. Visit FactoryDirect.ca or one of 22 stores and sign up for early access to the Boxing Week flyer. Doors open on December 26th, 7 a.m. Quantities are limited. Don't miss out.
We're two men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think two men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you want. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're two men and a truck. Two men and a truck, the movers who care.
7:51.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Viva Next. Wow, it's almost like a completely different drive than it was 10 minutes ago. Problems coming and going all over the place. On the eastbound 401, we have four new issues. Approaching Winston Churchill is the first one. East 401 approaching Winston Churchill, left lane blocked with a collision, so starting to get heavy from the 407 to approaching Winston Churchill. Now, a traffic spotter called to say approaching Young in the Express. Some garbage debris across the two right lanes. So we've got the delay here starting to build from east of Avenue in the Express to approaching Young. I haven't had a chance to notify the MTO about this just yet, but I will after this report. Then we have some volume from the DVP in the Express and Victoria Park in the Collectors over towards Kennedy. A new problem on the East 401 ramp to McCowan. The right lane is blocked at the start of that ramp with a collision, and crews are on scene here. And then we have a new problem on the eastbound 401 approaching Thixon Road in Whitby to make that just a single left lane now. Blocked for the collision was two left lanes for short stretch. Now it's just a single left lane, heavy from approaching Brock Street to approaching Thixon already. So as you travel through this area, it's getting very slow. On the westbound 401, a couple of changes here. Approaching McCowan in the Collectors, problems here have cleared. Coming and going in between the last two reports were problems on the west 401 west of Young in the Collectors. So you may find a minor delay through there. And it's still a bit busy in the Mississauga, anywhere from here, Ontario to west of Mavis. If you're traveling the DVP northbound, delays from approaching Eglinton up towards York Mills. Still heavy on the 410 north of Steeles up towards Williams Parkway, but improving after earlier problems. It's the season of giving in Richmond Hill and Newmarket, and your local shops and businesses can help you find what you're looking for. Stop, shop, and dine on Yonge Street, Richmond Hill, and Newmarket. Visit vivanext.com. Your next report at 8:01, and with the extended forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
A cold front is dropping through the area. It's also going to drop temperatures as well. We head down to -3 and a wind chill of -8. Winds are going to start lightening up as we head toward midnight. For tomorrow, 0 with a mix of sun and cloud. Wednesday for Christmas, mostly cloudy and a high of 4 degrees. And Boxing Day is when we could see our next chance of some rain making its way in, and also potentially mixing with some ice pellets the further east you go, and a high of 3 degrees. Tonight's overnight low, -3.
And right now in downtown Toronto, partly cloudy sky, 5 degrees. At Pearson, partly cloudy and 4.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Walmart.
With Walmart's guaranteed unbeatable low prices, save $1.90 on an 18-pack of Grey Ridge large eggs, now $2.77. Walmart, save money, live better.
Coming up at 8 o'clock, the latest on homicide investigation into a fatal stabbing in the city's Parkdale neighborhood. 680 News Time, 7:54.
Aaron Park. Neil.
Why buy at Aaron Park Toyota? Well, when you see that every single individual from the moment you walk in is gearing all of what they're doing towards a positive experience, you kind of feel that there's something intentional going on, and you can't ask for more than that.
That's nice to hear.
Aaron Park. It's time to Toyota. Time to get 0.49% finance rates up to 48 months on 2020 Corollas. All with Toyota Safety Sense.
Aaron Park.
The 680 News Insider Club. It pays to belong.
This week, you could win a $100 inspired dining card to spend at 7 different restaurant brands, including Jack Astor's Bar and Grill, Scatterbush Italian Kitchen and Bar, Canyon Creek, and more. Enjoy amazing food, a wide selection of craft beers, cocktails, and frequent new menu features. With over 35 locations in the GTA, stop in
I don't
and
know where the
enjoy
video
an
cut off, so I'm
exceptional
not sure
dining
what story's
experience.
repeated yet.
Visit 680news.com for your chance to win.
I think we got all of
For
them.
the Insider Club.
Fuck, that
A
fucking
U.S.
hurts.
congressional panel has filed court papers that suggest they might recommend more articles of impeachment against President Donald
Did
Trump.
they impeach
The
him
House
already?
Judiciary
Isn't it done
Committee is
now?
keeping
It's
open
done.
the possibility of additional charges as it pressed a federal
they do that
appeals
to
court
us,
to order
too.
testimony from former White House counsel Don McGahn. The committee is investigating potential obstruction of justice by President Trump during special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. The Justice Department has asked the appeals court to dismiss the request, saying it's less urgent now since the House has already moved ahead with articles of impeachment, even without the testimony of the former White House lawyer. Arguments are scheduled to be heard early next month. Jackie Quinn, Washington.
This is 680 News. Coming up in just 60 seconds, our business report.
680 News Time, 7:55.
Love your music, love your turntable.
Listening to vinyl records is truly a magical experience. And no matter what your taste in music, a new turntable from Bay Blue Radio is the perfect way to enjoy it to the max.
Come to BBR for Toronto's best selection of turntables, Techniques, Riga, Project, and Audio Technica. On sale for the season from $249.
There's only one Bay Bluer Radio. The right sound for the right price.
The Mercedes-Benz Oakville year-end winter sales event is on now. For a limited time, enjoy exceptional offers such as lease rates from 1.49%, finance rates from 0.49%, cash support up to $25,000, and 3 payments waived on us on select in-stock models. Plus, receive a special bonus offer with purchase available only at Mercedes-Benz Oakville. Visit our showroom today at the QEW and Dorval Drive in Oakville and use these generous offers to gift yourself a Mercedes-Benz this holiday season.
680 News Time is 7:56.
Now time for the 680 News Business Report with Richard Southern.
It's a catastrophe at the box office for Universal's Cats. The film adaptation of Andrew Lloyd Webber's hit musical cost $100 million to make, but returned a completely disastrous $6.5 million this past weekend. The film featured complicated CGI effects that turned its star-studded cast into realistic-looking cats, but clearly it was rushed. One of the scenes featured actress Judi Dench's real human hand instead of the furry paw she should have had. It even had her existing wedding ring on it. It was so bad that Universal has now notified theaters that it will send an updated version of the film. Meantime, Disney stock today fell 1.5% after the box office receipts for the new Star Wars movie failed to match the opening weekend performance of some of the other Star Wars flicks. Still, the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker pulled in $175.5 million, the third best weekend for any movie this particular year. A nice ending for the stock's performance today. We had the TSX up 10 points, a record high for Canada's main stock index at 17,128. Dow up 96 points, a record 28,551. S&P up 2, a record 32.24. Nasdaq up 20 points. Gold at $1,488, up almost $8. Oil higher to $60.52. All right, time to take a look back at the year that was. What was the biggest economic surprise for CIBC's chief economist, Avery Shenfeld? What was it, Avery?
Well, the biggest surprise was actually that when we got the third quarter economic numbers, that Statistics Canada actually upgraded the growth for some of the prior quarter. And that's the reason why the Bank of Canada hasn't seen fit to cut interest rates.
Canadian dollar moving higher, 76.08 cents US. At the Business Center, I'm Richard Southern.
Oh, it's fairly high.
World's greatest magicians come together live on stage for a holiday spectacular. The Illusionist Magic of the Holidays. This breathtaking magic spectacular showcases the jaw-dropping talents of the most incredible illusionists on Earth. See them before they disappear. The Illusionist Magic of the Holidays. Coming to Toronto from January 1st through 5th only. Book at meridianhall.com.
Some holiday deals on the internet sound good.
A half-price invisible unicorn? Sold.
But when you think about them,
Oopsie, you got me again, internet.
not so much. Get a great holiday deal you don't have to think about at the Bring Home a Honda event. Lease the new 2020 Honda Civic LX for just $65 weekly at 3.99% and $0 down, including a $750 Honda bonus. Includes freight and fees for 60 months. Taxes extra. OAC. See HondaOntario.com. Bring Home a Honda. No thinking required.
It's a CFTR 680 News Time, 8 o'clock.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Good evening. This is Monday, December 23rd. I'm Scott Burnett.
And I'm Eden Tababa. Here's what's making news this hour.
Police investigating the city's 73rd homicide of 2019. A man succumbing to his injuries tonight after being stabbed this afternoon in Parkdale.
A 40-year-old man from Pickering has been denied bail after a fatal collision in Scarborough that killed 2 international students from Centennial College. There has been a string of suspicious tow truck fires across the GTA. Police in Toronto are calling it arson.
If you're dreaming of a white Christmas, keep dreaming. Not a lot of snow expected in the coming days. Your forecast coming up.
Maple Leafs win their 5th straight. The Raptors in action now, looking for their 6th in a row. Sports at 15. Another big rally for stocks today, a record-breaking performance for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Boeing stock surges as the CEO resigns. Business at 26.
News time, 8:01.
This report brought to you by 407 ETR. We have this problem on the eastbound 401 approaching Fixon Road in Whitby. It looks like it's the 3 left lanes blocked with this collision now. And of course, there are only 3 lanes here, but there is a ramp lane on the right-hand side that I believe traffic's being forced to use. So if you're traveling through this area, heavy approaching Brock Street to approaching Fixon, where only the ramp lane is getting past this crash. Emergency crews are on scene. That's the really heavy spot on the eastbound 401. We do have a couple of issues to update you about, though. Problem East 401 approaching Winston Churchill. The left lane is still blocked with a collision here. Just a minor delay in this area. Looks like that garbage debris on the East 401 approaching Yonge and the Express has quickly been moved off the highway, so no problems there. There is a bit of a delay into Scarborough from Victoria Park to Kennedy in the collectors. And we had an issue on the East 401 ramp to McCowan. That has now been cleared as well. So really the big issue is East 401 through Fixon Road, where it's only the ramp lane open getting past this crash. Westbound 401, not bad right now across the city. Minor delay west as you travel through Winston Churchill. Traffic's having a look at that eastbound problem that's in the left lane on the opposite side. A volume out of downtown, very light. North DBP just a bit slow from Lawrence to York Mills, really not bad at all. No major problems or delays on the westbound Gardner or QEW. 410 northbound still slowing a little, approaching Clark to Williams Parkway. That's because of earlier problems we had. That's the last little bit of a delay to ease off, and it shouldn't be long before it's gone. And we still have a stretch of Jameson closed off the highways. Jameson closed both ways from King to Queen for a police investigation. 407 ETR traffic experts study driving patterns all year round to ensure a smooth ride 365 days a year. Visit 407etr.com. Your next report at 8:11. And with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
That cold front is going to swing through the GTA, dropping us down to -3, wind chill -8 with a partly cloudy sky. And we do have a cooler Christmas Eve on tap, a mix of sun and cloud, and just a high of 0. We'll see some more clouds by the afternoon. Tonight's overnight low, -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, partly cloudy, 5 degrees, and at Pearson Airport, clear skies and 4. 680 News Time, 8:03.
Police now investigating the city's 73rd homicide of 2019. This after a man was fatally stabbed in Parkdale this afternoon. Paramedics say he succumbed to his injuries this evening in hospital. They were called to the King and Jameson area, though, at just before 2 o'clock.
Police telling 680 News they are searching for a black male suspect that was seen fleeing the scene on foot. Homicide detectives have since taken over the investigation, and more details are expected within the hour. Anyone that may have witnessed the incident is being asked to contact police.
The man alleged to have hit and killed 2 international students from Centennial College has been denied bail. 40-year-old Michael Johnson from Pickering has been identified as the man allegedly responsible for last night's fatal collision. The judge denying Johnson bail earlier this evening, saying, quote, "It wouldn't be fair to the public to release him." Well, meantime, safe driving is on the minds of many during the holiday season, and 680's Momo Qureshi reports incidents like this are why the Arrive Alive Drive Sober campaign are so important.
With Christmas Eve tomorrow, more and more people people will be celebrating, so Toronto police are here in Scarborough doing a holiday ride check, trying to make sure you're getting to your destination safely.
Hi, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you. We're just running a ride spot check. Any alcohol tonight? No, fair enough. Thank you.
Unfortunately, this ride check comes after 2 teenage Centennial College students were killed by an alleged drunk driver last night. Sergeant Jason Kraft says there is no excuse for driving impaired.
If you're a driver of a motor vehicle, have a plan. Choose an alternate ride. If you're setting up a Christmas party at the office or hosting a family and friends party, ensure that everybody gets home safely. If you're out on the road and you observe someone who you suspect is an impaired driver, consider that a crime in progress and call 911.
In Scarborough, I'm Omen Qureshi.
680 News Time, 8:05. York Regional Police have had some help getting a suspected drunk driver off the road this weekend. A concerned citizen calling 911 around 8:30 Friday night to report what appeared to be an impaired motorist in the Bathurst and Bloomington area.
The green Subaru Outback. Green Subaru Outback? What's the license plate?
To the car. You almost hit a car.
Vehicle is on file as stolen. And vehicle on file as stolen.
That call led to the arrest of a 37-year-old man and the recovery of a stolen vehicle. Mukhtar Abdullahi is facing numerous charges, including impaired operation and assault. So far this year, police say over 1,600 people have been charged with impaired driving in York Region.
Here with All News Radio 680 News at 8:06. A 70-year-old man is in serious condition after being hit by a car in Mississauga. It happened near Kennedy and Indian Trail just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. Peel Police saying the driver involved did remain at the scene and is cooperating with police.
And the man accused of throwing feces on 5 people around Toronto University campuses made another appearance in court today, this time to ensure he's meeting the conditions of his bail. 23-year-old Samuel Opoku is facing 5 charges of mischief and 5 charges of assault with a weapon. His lawyer says it was a priority to bring his client back to court in a timely manner.
To follow up and to ensure that he's doing well now that he's out of custody.
Sure that he's doing well. What the fuck?
Police report that he is doing well and he is receiving the care and the attention that he requires.
Opoku was arrested by Toronto police last month and was released on bail last week.
Toronto police are investigating 3 tow truck fires in North York, all within an hour of each other, that they believe are connected. 680's Phil Martino tells us police in York are also looking into suspicious overnight vehicle fires.
Stephen Powell, district chief with Toronto Fire, says crews were called to a tow truck fire near Finch and Bathurst around 3:30 a.m. The flames spread to a nearby house and garage.
We also had 2 other incidences, one involving just a tow truck, and the other one, it was a tow truck, but the resident of the property came out and was able to put the fire out.
Toronto police say the incidents have been classified as arsons and they're believed to be linked. In York Region, police are investigating 2 tow truck fires in Richmond Hill around the same time, one near Bathurst and Major Mackenzie, the other near Bathurst and Gamble Road. Police say both vehicles are believed to have been intentionally set on fire. Police will not say if the fires are linked to a possible tow truck war. I'm Phil Martino.
680 News Time, 8:08. We may not have a white Christmas in our near future, but 680's meteorologist Carl Lamb says we should be able to make use of the nicer weather to get errands done.
As we head into Christmas Eve, looks like things are going to be relatively calm. It's not going to be nearly as windy tomorrow as it was today. But we do have a mix of sun and cloud, and it should be relatively calm. So I think if you do have any travel plans to get to a family Christmas celebration, or if you're just taking care of any last-minute shopping tomorrow, I think it really will be a great day to do just that.
He also says Christmas Day will be dry and gray with no active weather in the forecast.
Well, quitting smoking or drinking are among the most common New Year's resolutions, according to one expert. But he says most of us need to make the same resolution multiple times before it finally sticks. Dr. Simon Sherry is a clinical psychologist and perfectionism expert with Crux Psychology and tells us more than half of North American adults will make some kind of resolution, with many making 3 or more.
How successful are we at our resolutions? And evidence would show that many of us have to make the same New Year's resolution as many as 5 to 10 times before we actually lock it down and succeed. And common New Year's resolutions might be something like stopping drinking, stopping smoking, or losing weight. And these are no small challenges.
He says about 25% of us who make resolutions abandon them in as little as a week. He says about 40% are able to continue those resolutions, though, for about 6 months. In 30 seconds, we'll check on the price of the pumps.
680 News Time, 8:09.
When we work together, amazing things can happen. The Love You by Shoppers Drug Mart program works together with local charities to help advance women's health and provide support systems for women to feel their best. To date, we've raised over $66 million to support women's health initiatives in our communities. Join us in being a champion for women's health. Visit shoppersdrugmart.ca/loveyou to learn how you can participate. Because together, we're empowered. Together, we're healthier. Together, we're unstoppable.
Now the 680 News gas price update. I'm saying the price of gas will not change at midnight. Expected to hold at $1.18.9 a liter.
680 News Time, 8:10.
It's year-end. Time to award yourself a performance bonus. During their year-end sell-down, lease a 2019 Q7 SUV from 1.98% for 48 months. Plus, receive up to $5,000 in Audi event credits and a 5-year, 80,000-kilometer maintenance plan. Quattro all-wheel drive performance. Bonus offers. Reward yourself at the all-new Audi Queensway and AudiQueensway.ca. Drive well. Drive safe.
Need window inspiration? Then you need to speak to the experts. Hi, I'm Tom Rokiki of Inline Fiberglass Windows and Doors. Our window experts are experienced in working with architects, builders, and homeowners to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So whether you're replacing your old windows or building your dream home, dream the dream with Inline Fiberglass. If you can dream it, we can build it. Visit our Factory Direct showroom, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or inlinefiberglass.com.
680 News Time, 8:11.
Time for traffic and weather together on the one, skywalking.
This report brought to you by Hamilton International Airport. Not a bad drive right now. We have two problems on the eastbound 401. First of all, as you approach Winston Churchill, the left lane is blocked with a crash. A very minor delay because of this, though. It's really not bad. The more serious issue is on the eastbound 401 in the Whitby area. Approaching Thixon Road, it's now just the two left lanes blocked with a collision. So heavy from east of the 412 to approaching Thixon continues to pile up behind this. At one point, only the ramp lane was open, but now we have not only the ramp lane, but also a right lane getting past here. So that's going to help things, but again, still heavy on the East 401 from just east of the 412 to approaching Thixon, where the two left lanes are off limits with a collision. Emergency crews are on scene here. If you're traveling the eastbound 407, a little bit of construction being set up from Mavis to Huron, Ontario, two right lanes blocked. As part of this, the northbound Mavis ramp to the east 407 being closed for construction as well. No problems if you're traveling west 401 or 407. We were seeing a minor delay west 401 through Winston Churchill because of the eastbound problem, but that section is eased off once again. Out of downtown or into it, either direction, DVP and Gardner, both in good shape now. Only other problem is off the highways at Jameson. In fact, a closure of Jameson from King to Queen, still for a police investigation, just to watch somebody try to go up Jameson from King Street, and they were stopped by Toronto police, so it is still off limits. See Canada on Swoop Airlines flying nonstop to Abbotsford, Edmonton, Winnipeg, or Halifax, Hamilton International Airport, your low-cost airport. Your next report at 8:21, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
After a warm day, bundle up if you're headed out this evening. We have temperatures falling tonight, and that cold front moves through. We will have an overnight low of -3 and that wind chill of -8 for tomorrow. Christmas Eve, a high of 0 with a mix of sun and cloud, and it will be on the cooler side, but not as windy. And then for Christmas Day, mostly cloudy and a high of +4. Tonight's overnight low, -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, a partly cloudy sky at 5 degrees. It appears in this hour, partly cloudy and 4. 680 News Time, 8:13. The director of the latest Star Wars movie responding to critics. No one's ever really gone.
There's a lot of love for Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, but if you've been on Twitter the past couple of days, there are also a lot of unhappy fans. The film earned a B+ cinema score from moviegoers opening weekend, the lowest score of any Star Wars movie to date. So for those that don't like it,
I'd say that they're right.
Director J.J. Abrams was asked about the criticism after a screening over the weekend.
We knew starting this. Any decision we made, a design decision, a musical decision, a narrative decision, would please someone and infuriate someone else. And they're all right.
Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
680 News Time, 8:14.
For 8 days, Toronto glows a little bit brighter as giant outdoor menorahs light up the night sky. As you travel our city, you'll see them at Old City Hall, Nathan Phillips Square, lighting up the foot of Queen's Park. There are some 30 of them around the GTA, shedding light from Niagara Falls all the way up to Aurora. These menorahs have been placed by the Chabad Lubavitch organization to help publicize the message of Hanukkah, the miraculous triumph of religious freedom over oppression. Still, the main celebration of Hanukkah remains a family affair. So in the evening of each of the 8 days of Hanukkah, gather your family and light the menorah, adding an additional flame each night. If you'd like to find out more or for a holiday guide, visit us online at Hanukkah.ca. This message is brought to you by Steele's Memorial Chapel, wishing you a happy Hanukkah.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. Overcast now, 5 degrees in downtown Toronto. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Scott Burnett. Thanks for joining us here at the top stories at this hour. The man stabbed around 2 o'clock this afternoon near King and Jameson in Parkdale has died of his injuries, becoming the city's 73rd homicide victim of 2019. Police continue to hunt for suspects. And a 40-year-old man from Pickering has been identified as the man responsible for allegedly hitting and killing 2 international college students from Centennial College last night. He was denied bail by a judge earlier this evening.
The shit thrower got out.
Sports, things getting shaky out west after a series of earthquakes strike off the coast of Vancouver. Time for 680 Sports. For that, we go to Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Andy McNamara.
Hey, thanks, Scott. Raptors down 54-44 at halftime against the Pacers. Toronto looking for their 6th straight win. The Maple Leafs sent their fans into the Christmas break happy with a wild one against the Hurricanes. Here's how it finished up.
The Leafs miraculously come from behind after leading 3-0 to win the game 8-6.
Joe Bone with the call on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Leafs are riding a 5-game winning streak, sit second in the Atlantic, and get back at it Friday in New Jersey. The last Monday Night Football game of the year, Packers versus the Vikings battle for the NFC North, kickoff in just a couple of minutes. And beast mode, Marshawn Lynch could be back in the NFL with the team he won a Super Bowl with. Lynch worked out for the Seattle Seahawks today. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time, 8:17.
Smart people
With smart speakers.
always listen to.
Hey Google, play 680 News.
Playing 680 News.
Bodog.net wants to show you how to make a play. When it feels like all of Canada says no, you're asking why not. When everyone's got LA as the favorite, you're repping the underdog from the 6. When your friends say your team is just a bunch of hype, you say, bring it on. When the odds are stacked against you, the post-game tastes that much sweeter. Don't miss a chance to make a play at Bodog.net, your source of free casino games, poker strategy, and live sports odds.
Need a last-minute gift for the guy that has everything? Huh, look at that. A heavy-duty nose hair trimmer. Well, that's not insulting at all. Why don't you hurry into the Boxing Week sale at Sleep Country and give the gift of better sleep instead? Plus, get amazing prices on bedding essentials and mattresses. And get a Hot Buy Sealy Optimum Eurotop Queen mattress with cooling technology, just $449. Hurry in store or online because this price ends Sunday. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
Here with All News Radio 680 News at 8:18. Officers investigating the death of a woman killed outside of a homeless shelter in the city's Dawnlands neighborhood 22 years ago. They have not been able to solve the case despite having the killer's DNA. Malia Sheikh of City News with more on police's plea to find her killer.
22 years later, still no suspect. Toronto police are now sharing new details with the public regarding DNA. It's believed to be of the offender, and it was found on 21-year-old Lisa Lynn Anstey.
We've also run it through what's called forensic phenotyping technology, and it's able to tell us that we are looking for a specific person And I can tell you that we're looking for a person that is going to be a white person.
While there's more information on this cold case, the investigation faces challenges. Police are looking for a suspect's name. Anyone with any information is being asked to contact Crime Stoppers or police. You can do so anonymously. Malia Sheikh, City News, near Front and Cherry Street.
6:80 news time, 8:19. A confirmed case of the measles in a traveler coming into Chicago's O'Hare Airport, one of the world's busiest. The case has health officials and airport authorities on high alert. Here's ABC's Alex Perez.
Now, authorities at the big airports in Austin and Richmond, Virginia, are also alerting passengers. The risk of transmission is high, and officials are not only worried because of the many outbreaks around the world, but also because it's such a busy travel period right now.
And unvaccinated children, pregnant women, and those with weakened immune systems are most at risk of infection. A close call for Canadians out west. A series of earthquakes shaking up the area under the Pacific Ocean, more than 100 kilometers northwest of northern Vancouver Island. 3 large quakes were recorded by Earthquakes Canada, measuring 5.1, 5.6, and 5.8. Andrew Schaefer of Earthquakes Canada says it's very unlikely anyone felt them.
It would be pretty hard to distinguish it from a big truck driving by a few hundred meters away, sort of thing. It's far enough away that even something that large isn't that very strongly felt.
Schaefer says the area where today's quakes occurred is well known for generating quakes above magnitude 5. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and your extended forecast. 680 News Time, 8:20.
If I told you there are as many as 2,000 homeless youth in our city each night, would you care?
What if I told you most of them have suffered from abuse and neglect? Then would you care? What if I told you many feel safer on the streets than they do at home? Now do you care? What if I told you I really need your help?
How young do they need to be before you care? Donate
A bunch of shit here that they're not talking about. Man facing second-degree murder charge in Annex assault. A 51-year-old woman is dead following an assault in the Annex area on Sunday afternoon. Toronto police were called to a residence in the area of Harbert Street and Brunswick Avenue just after 2 p.m. The woman suffered injuries to her head and later died in hospital. Police have since identified her as Julie Berman from Toronto. Police were initially treating the incident as a suspicious death and later declared it a homicide. Colin Harnack, 29, also from Toronto, is facing a charge of second-degree murder. This is the city's 72nd homicide of the year. And so the guy that just got stabbed down here would be number 73.
In the Whitby area. First of all, East 401 approaching Winston Churchill in Mississauga. The left lane is blocked for the collision, a minor delay there. And then if you're traveling east as far as Whitby, approaching Fixon Road, we have 2 left lanes blocked for the crash, and it is just jammed solid from east of the 412 to approaching Fixon. As you travel through this stretch, you have some alternates available to you. If you don't want to get stuck in this, you can exit the highway. Specifically, I would probably exit at Lakeridge, and instead of going south, probably easier to go north to Dundas, and then you can travel over to Fixon Road, rejoin the 401. I know it's tempting to go south down to Victoria because it's easier to get around this by doing so, but if you travel south off the 401 on Lakeridge Road, it jams up actually quite heavily approaching Victoria, so then you'll have to sit in that before you can get to your alternate. So maybe Dundas is the easier one to use as it's delay-free getting to it, and then over to Fixon Road, it's just fine as well. If you're traveling the remainder of the highway is really not bad. No problems on the West 401, no problems on routes into or out of downtown. DVP or the Gardner both moving in pretty decent shape. We've got a minor problem reported on the southbound 400 through Highway 9. It sounds like the left lane blocked for the collision. Crews are on scene now, so not seeing much of a delay through there, but watch out for that. And off the highways, we've got a collision now on Kingston Road, west of Victoria Park at Kingswood, causing delays in both directions. Also, Jameson still closed from King up to Queen for a police investigation. Give a real gift with real impact this holiday. Shop UNICEF Survival Gifts at unicef.ca, because every kid everywhere deserves a healthy and happy childhood. Your next report at 8:31, and with the extended forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
Partly cloudy tonight, and that cold front moves through, which will drop temperatures as well. Those winds do lighten up as we head toward midnight. Low of -3 will feel like -8. For tomorrow, a high of 0, a mix of sun and cloud, and then we'll see some more clouds as we head toward the afternoon and evening. By Wednesday, it's a mostly cloudy day, a high of 4 degrees. And then by Thursday, that's when we could see our next chance of some rain and also the potential for some ice pellets further east, a high of 3 degrees on Boxing Day. Tonight's overnight low, -3.
And right now in downtown Toronto, an overcast sky at 5 degrees, overcast and 4 at Pearson International Airport. 6:80 news time, 8:24.
First, your disability insurer denies your long-term disability claim, and then your employer threatens to fire you if you don't return to work. Sound familiar? My name is Aaron Waxman, and if your disability insurer denies your disability claim for any reason, or if your employer threatens to fire you because you're too sick to work.
It's crazy. Man arrested in early morning stabbing of female in downtown Toronto. Police arrested a man after a female was stabbed near Bain Gerrard Streets. Staff from the nearby Chelsea Hotel, this is the Delta Chelsea, made the call to police around 4 a.m. on Monday. There's no word yet if the stabbing happened at or near the hotel. And that's all they have on that. Shots fired in Rexdale home invasion, no injuries. No injuries were reported after shots were fired during a home invasion overnight in Rexdale. Officers were called to a home on Hume Hiller Drive near Martin Grove Road and West Humber Boulevard just after 3 a.m. Monday. Police said 2 suspects entered the home looking for someone inside. One of the suspects opened fire inside the home and then fled the scene. The suspect descriptions are not clear at this point.
Have to pay out of pocket. The State Department is also providing some compensation, up to $300 per hour of legal services. Connor Fagan, ABC News.
$300 per hour. I could be a lawyer.
Obstacles and mortgages go
I could
together
send
like
faxes
first
and
dates
shit.
and
I
spaghetti.
know how to do a cover better.
Especially if you've been through a bankruptcy, consumer proposal, or debt settlement. Remember the name Duga. Jaspreet Duga and his team have options for you. Alternative mortgages, private mortgages. Jaspreet Duga works for you, not the lenders. So you get the best terms and rates. Get started today at dugamortgages.ca. That's DHUGGA mortgages.ca. And tear down those obstacles. License 12880.
Hey guys, have you been on medication or just feel lousy because of your weight? Sleep apnea, sciatica, I had it all. Until I met the team at Harvey Brooker Weight Loss for Men. I'm Pat Carano, a 51-year-old accounting professional from Woodbridge. And I'm telling you, losing my weight has changed my life.
Don't miss 20% off 2020 memberships. New members only. Call now, 416-222-9887. HarveyBrooker.com.
If you could do it alone, you would have done it already.
Time for our Christmas news on the 25 is brought to you by Illusionists, Magic of the Holidays. Hundreds of volunteers of all ages helping Daily Bread with its final holiday public sort of the year. Daily Bread says over 100,000 pounds of food donations will be sorted and packed, all of which go to meet the needs of Torontonians experiencing hunger and food insecurity this season. The agency helps feed about 100,000 people a year.
Christmas news at 25 minutes past every hour on 680 News.
Now the business report for Richard Southern.
Record-breaking close for the Toronto and New York stock markets. TSX up 10 points today, 17,128. The Dow up 96 to 28,251. S&P 500 gains 2 points. The Nasdaq gains 20. Investors taking some solace in the fact that there were reports that China would cut some tariffs on U.S. imports as well. Boeing showing its CEO the door, Dennis Muhlenberg, over the 737 MAX scandal, and that lifted Boeing stock 2.9%, $337.55. A bit of disappointing economic news, though, on the Canadian side. Canada's economy shrinking in October, down 0.1%, first monthly decline since February. Avery Shenfeld is the senior economist at CIBC.
We had already seen reports that volumes of sales for manufacturers, wholesalers, retailers were all down in the same month of October. So it wasn't really a big surprise that overall economic activity also declined that month. But more worrisomely, it does extend a trend. It's really been back to June before you find a month that was solid for the Canadian economy.
You know, some say we're headed towards a possible recession in the new year. What's your take on that, Avery?
Certainly still true that some of the things we've been worried about over the past year, particularly the sluggishness in manufacturing, not just in Canada but globally, that's still very much there. So I think sluggish growth is the order of the day, but not necessarily an outright recession.
All eyes on the Bank of Canada now. Pressure certainly on, perhaps, for the bank to cut rates when it meets again on the 22nd of January. Gold up more than $8, $1,489. Oil to $60.70. Canadian dollar 76.06 cents US. And at the Business Center, I'm Richard Southern.
Some things just don't fit, like an SUV that doesn't suit your lifestyle. That's why Toyota offers the adventure-ready RAV4 with available all-wheel drive. Find the Toyota that's right for you. Lease the 2020 RAV4 all-wheel drive LE for as low as $96 weekly at 5.49% APR for 52 months with $0 down, or finance from 3.99% APR for 36 months. Visit your local Ontario Toyota dealer or shoptoyota.ca. Some conditions apply.
Holland Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital would like to thank Goodman & Associates Chartered Professional Accountants for sponsoring this message. Shouldn't every Canadian see themselves represented in advertising? 22% of Canadians live with a disability, so let's agree right now to include them in the picture. Sign Holland Bloorview's Dear Everybody agreement at deareverybody.ca. A message from Goodman & Associates Chartered Professional Accountants, 45 St. Clair Avenue West, Toronto.
This is CFTR 680 News. Listen 3, 4, or 5 times a day and always be in the know. It's 8:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good evening. This is Monday, December the 23rd. I'm Eden Deveva.
I'm Scott Burnett. Here's what's making news right now.
A man has died in hospital, and homicide detectives are now investigating after stabbing in the city's West End.
A 40-year-old man will not be released on bail after 2 teens were killed in a serious collision.
Police are looking into half a dozen tow truck fires in Toronto and York region. They say they were intentionally set.
Dreaming will be the only way to get a white Christmas this year. A full weather forecast just seconds away.
Raptors in Indiana trying for their 6th straight win, while the Maple Leafs take a wild one at home over Carolina. Sports at 45.
Record-breaking close for the TSX, Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ. And with the decade wrapping up, we're looking at how the TSX has done over the past 10 years, including the top-performing stocks in business at 50 cents.
News time, 8:31.
It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Sisley Honda. Some good news coming out of the eastbound 401. The problem we had approaching Fixon Road has now cleared. The not so good news is it's taking some time for this delay to ease off. So first of all, we have still a collision east 401 approaching Winston Churchill. Left lane blocked there. Not really seeing any delay in this area anymore. The eastbound 401 remains heavy heading into Whitby from the 412 to Fixon. Once you get beyond Brock Street, things start to improve, but it's still very heavy as you approach this area, 412 to east to Brock Street. Then you'll start to feel your speeds picking up some. No issues on the westbound 401, but we have 2 other minor collisions. Southbound 400 by Highway 9. The right lane is blocked with a collision. Crews are on scene, but not really seeing much of a slowdown there. And same on in the location of our other problem. Southbound 427 south of Airport Road. Looks like we have a collision blocking the right lane here as well. Just a minor delay in this area. A couple of problems off the highways. Kingston Road in the Beaches, west of Victoria Park at Kingswood. We have lanes blocked with a collision affecting east and westbound traffic, slowing both directions here. And also Jameson remains closed from King to Queen for a police investigation. Sisley Honda wants your family to love your car. Drop by 88 Steeles Avenue, just west of Yonge. Sisley Honda, they're family driven. Your next report at 8:41, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
It will be a cool night across the GTA. Those winds will eventually die down after about midnight, and we'll have a partly cloudy sky down to -3. And for tomorrow, it sets up for a colder day. We do have a mix of sun and cloud, a high of 0, and tomorrow's low -1. We'll see some more clouds by the afternoon as well. Tonight's overnight low -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, we got an overcast sky at 5 degrees. 680 News Time, 8:33.
Police
Police are investigating after one man was fatally stabbed in the Parkdale area this afternoon. Paramedics say the man died from his injuries in hospital. Police were called to the King West and Jameson Avenue area just before 2 o'clock this afternoon.
They are searching for one suspect described as a black male that was seen fleeing the area on foot. The investigation has been taken over by the Homicide Division, and anyone with information is asked to contact police. As you heard in traffic at stretch of King Street near Jameson still closed for this investigation.
A man alleged to have hit and killed 2 college students with his car last night was denied bail today. Michael Johnson, 40, from Pickering, has been identified as the man allegedly responsible for the deadly crash. The judge's words as they denied bail, quote, "It would be unfair to the public." Johnson is expected back in court on January 3rd.
Meantime, a 37-year-old man is also facing impaired driving charges after a Good Samaritan noticed his erratic driving and called 911.
Yeah, there's a guy in a vehicle who's drunk out of his mind.
Where?
Bathurst and Bloomington.
Okay, and which direction did he go?
The green Subaru Outback.
You can watch that video on YRP's YouTube page. York Regional Police saying the number of impaired driving incidents continues to rise. This year, more than 1,600 people have been charged with impaired driving. They add that more than 3,000 people have called to report a suspected impaired driver, which has helped improve road safety. If you see a dangerous driver, you're being asked to contact police immediately.
680 News Time, 8:34. It's a reminder that apparently needs to be repeated again and again. Police urging you to stay sober, stay alert, and stay safe as they continue their annual ride program. 680's Moma Qureshi has more.
With Christmas just a couple days away and holiday parties in full swing, Toronto police are here in Scarborough trying to make sure people are driving responsibly.
Hi, sir. How are you today? Good. This is my ride spot. Any alcohol today? All right, thanks.
Unfortunately, this ride check is very timely, with 2 Centennial College students being struck and killed by an alleged impaired driver last night. Sergeant Jason Kraft with Traffic Services says those types of crashes do not have to happen.
Impaired-related offenses are 100% preventable. If you're going to get behind the wheel of a vehicle, you have to have 0 alcohol, 0 drugs on board, and you have to have an undivided attention while operating such.
A 40-year-old man is facing several charges. In Scarborough, I'm Moma Qureshi.
680 News Time, 8:35. A 70-year-old man in hospital tonight with serious injuries after being hit by a car shortly after 2 o'clock. It happened in Mississauga near Kennedy and Indian Summer Trail. It's unclear as of right now whether the man was crossing the street or on the sidewalk when it happened. Peel Police say the driver involved did remain at the scene. Southbound Kennedy is still closed at the intersection for this investigation.
Police are investigating after a number of tow trucks were set on fire here in Toronto and York Region early this morning. As 680's Phil Martino tells us, the investigators confirmed they're dealing with arson.
3 tow trucks caught fire in North York within 30 minutes of each other, starting around 3:30 a.m. Stephen Powell, District Chief with Toronto Fire, says the most serious blaze occurred on Drury Avenue near Bathurst and Finch, where flames spread to a garage and a house.
The vehicles were unattended when this happened.
Toronto Police confirmed they've been classified as arsons and are believed to be linked. York Regional Police Constable Laura Nicole says around the same time as these fires, 2 tow truck fires were reported in Richmond Hill.
In both cases, it was tow trucks that we are believing were intentionally set on fire.
No injuries have been reported in any of these incidents. Police will not comment on any connection to a possible tow truck war. That's from Martino.
Possible tow truck war.
Yep.
Keep telling us about this alleged
680 News Time,
potential
8:36. A 41-year-old man still facing multiple charges after the second largest criminal bust in Durham region. Durham police say 5 search warrants were executed in Project Berza across Toronto, York, and Durham. About $1.5 million worth of drugs has been seized, including almost 15 kilos of fentanyl, as well as meth, cocaine, and MDMA. Investigators also recovered a loaded firearm, ammunition, and $70,000 cash. Dong Nguyen from Richmond Hill was held for a bail hearing for charges including possession of the purpose of trafficking, careless storage of a firearm, and unauthorized possession of a firearm.
This is 680 News. It may be officially winter now, but it seems like Mother Nature could use a reminder. 680's meteorologist Carl Lamb says we're looking at a dry few days.
You can thank the warmer weather for the green Christmas we're about to have. We've had temperatures like today getting up to 9 degrees and abundant sunshine that's done lots of the melting of any existing snow. And I think tomorrow and Wednesday, it's really just a quiet pair of days coming up for Christmas Eve and for Christmas.
On the bright side, the lack of snow will certainly be good for the roads.
680 News Time, 8:38. The man accused of throwing buckets of human waste on several people in Toronto is back in court today. 23-year-old Samuel Aboku made an appearance to ensure he's meeting his bail conditions. His lawyer, Jordan Weiss, says he wants to ensure his client is receiving the care and attention he requires.
Mr. Poku is doing very well. I think it's clear that he's certainly doing a lot better than he was a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. Things are improving for him. Things are improving in terms of his mental condition. Things are improving in terms of his stability.
Aboku was arrested by Toronto police last month after 3 attacks in and around U of T and York University. He's charged with 5 counts each of mischief and assault with a weapon.
This is 680 News at 8:38. Fire crews from all across Canada are helping their Australian counterparts in efforts to contain hundreds of wildfires that have been burning across the continent for months. So far, 9 people have been killed, about 900 homes destroyed, and more than 3 million hectares of land have been torched. The 69 Canadian firefighters will not be on the front lines, but will be providing various forms of support. The Canadian International Forest Fire Centre says that Canada has called on Australian firefighters 4 times since 2015, but that it's the first time that Australia has needed help from Canada. Coming up, traffic and weather together on the ones.
680 News Time, 8:39.
Hey everyone, Sam from Best Brand Appliance. So us and Sub-Zero Wolf are bringing you just in time for the holiday season, the Sub-Zero Wolf outlet, between 25 to 45% off Sub-Zero and Wolf. An incredible opportunity for all of you who are building or renovating, and also an amazing opportunity for all you designers and builders to get your clients massive discounts on Sub-Zero Wolf. This is in-store only, so just come to our Toronto or Vaughan location and see our amazing reps. If you're seeking Sub-Zero Wolf, come see the Sub-Zero Wolf outlet now at Best Brand Appliance.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Empro says the price of gas won't change at midnight. It's expected to hold at $1.18.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather together next.
680 News Time, 8:40.
This Christmas morning, log on to AaronwoodFord.com for this year's best gift. Aaronwood's famous Boxing Week Blitz is coming. Huge inventory, no admit fees, amazing year-end prices, plus up to $2,000 in Aaronwood bonus bucks on every vehicle at AaronwoodFord.com. Buy a car online today, Aaronwood Ford. The easy way. Aaronwood's famous Boxing Week Blitz is coming, everyone. Free shop at AaronwoodFord.com. Sale starts Boxing Day at 9 a.m.
It all starts December 26th at 7 a.m. FactoryDirect.ca's $10 million Boxing Week inventory blowout. Crazy deals on TVs, tablets, computers, cell phones, electronics, kitchen appliances, and more. They slash prices up to 80% off. 4K TVs from $199. Dyson cordless vacuums from $229. Apple MacBooks, iPhones, and iPads all on sale. Visit FactoryDirect.ca or one of 22 stores and sign up for early access to the Boxing Week flyer. Doors open on December 26th, 7 a.m. Quantities are limited. Don't miss out.
680 News Time, 8:41.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Global Story Network. Things continue to improve on the eastbound 401 after those earlier problems near Fixon Road cleared. So right now we're seeing a bit of volume from the 412 over to Fixon. Speeds are much better than they were a few minutes ago, though. So it's starting to empty out through this area. Elsewhere, the eastbound 401 still has a minor problem on it. Approaching Winston Churchill, the left lane is blocked for the collision, but just a very minor slowdown there. It's really not causing any kind of a jam up, but if you're traveling through this area, you just have to hit the brakes a little on the way by. We've got on the westbound 401, no problems across the city. There is some construction on the 407. This is eastbound 407 from Mavis to Huron, Ontario. 2 right lanes blocked. So you will find the lane restrictions there. Speeds look okay through this area. There's also a ramp restriction that goes along with this. The northbound Mavis ramp to the east 407 is closed. I had a problem on the southbound 400 at Highway 9. It looks like all lanes have reopened there. Crews have moved everything off the highway. There is still a problem on the 427 southbound, though. South of Airport Road, the right lane is blocked for the collision, and that's causing just a minor delay. It's really not too bad. If you're off the highways on city streets, collision on Kingston Road west of Victoria Park looks to have cleared away. Emergency crews have left the scene. We still do have a closure of Jameson, though, in both directions from King to Queen for a police investigation. Have you reached a certain age? Join comic Jody Miller and guests chatting about dating, relationships, and careers in the podcast Don't Call Me Ma'am. Visit globalstorynetwork.com. Your next report at 8:51, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
Temperatures continue to fall tonight, and we'll have partly cloudy conditions, and those winds do lighten up as we head toward the midnight hour. A low of -3 will feel like -8. And for Christmas Eve, a high of 0 with a mix of sun and cloud. And then as we head into Christmas Day, it will be a mostly cloudy day. We may see a little bit of early sunshine and a high of +4. Tonight's overnight low, -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, partly cloudy, 5 degrees, and at Pearson Airport, a few clouds and 4. Still to come on 680 News, and in our health and lifestyle news at the 48, we're looking at healthcare wait times across the country. 680 News time, 8:43.
The Best Buy Boxing Day sale starts online December 24th at 6 p.m. Eastern with hot Thor-Chrysler deals in every department. Save $300 on an Asus 15-inch laptop, only $649.99. Limits and effects details at bestbuy.ca.
680 News, now part of your smart home.
Hey Google, play 680 News. Playing 680 News.
At Mazda, we believe when something ends, it's really the beginning of something new. So as this year ends, begin a new journey in a new Mazda with available iActive all-wheel drive at the Mazda year-end event. Right now, you can receive 0% purchase financing on select models, or up to a $1,500 year-end event bonus on other select Mazdas. Plus, Mazda's unlimited mileage warranty. Hurry in. The Mazda year-end event is over January 2nd. Visit your Mazda dealer or Mazda.ca today.
The Best Buy Boxing Day sale starts online December 24th at 6 p.m. Eastern with hot Thor-Chrysler deals in every department. Save $800 on an LG 75-inch 4K TV, only $999.99. Limits and effects details at bestbuy.ca.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
A few clouds and 5 degrees in downtown Toronto. Good evening. From the 680 News Broadcast Center, I'm Eden DeBeba, and here are the top stories this hour. A man has died in hospital after being stabbed near Jameson Avenue and King Street West earlier this afternoon. This is the city's 73rd homicide. At this time, the only suspect description from police is a black male spotted running from the scene. And 40-year-old Michael Johnson from Pickering has been denied bail after a fatal car crash in Scarborough. Last night, 2 teens at Centennial College were killed, and a third still in hospital after being hit by the alleged drunk driver. In court this evening, Judge denied Johnson bail, saying, quote, "It wouldn't be fair to the public to release him." And coming up after sports, we have details on the secret message inside of a Christmas card discovered by a 6-year-old girl. 680 News time, 8:45. Now 680 Sports with Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Andy McNamara.
Thanks, Eden. The Raptors on the road battling the Pacers, looking for their 6th victory in a row, but Toronto's trailing Indiana in the 3rd quarter. Well, it was a scoring bonanza in Toronto this afternoon as the Maple Leafs outlasted the Carolina Hurricanes 8-6. This one turned out to be the winner. So it's like a Miners in a breakaway! Oh! Do you believe this? Do you believe this? 7-6! The extra point is good! 8-6 was the final. Joe Bolton with the call on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. The Leafs are riding a 5-game winning streak into the Christmas break. One other final in the NHL, Minnesota shuts out the Flames 3-0. To the NFL in Monday Night Football, the Packers are down 3-0 to the Vikings in the 1st quarter. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News time, 8:46.
Let's consider for a moment some internet holiday deals you might want to think about. Uranium ore, Madagascar hissing cockroaches, an umbrella hat, or how about a great holiday deal you don't have to think about, like the Bring Home a Honda event. Lease the redesigned 2020 Honda CR-V LX for just $90 weekly at 4.99% and 0 down. Includes rate fees for 60 months. Taxes extra OAC. See HondaOntario.com. Bring Home a Honda. No thinking required.
Joker, a meteor set to collide with our west coast in mere minutes. What do we do? Not to worry, Governor. I will simply fly around the Earth fast enough to reverse our polarity and turn back time. Joker away. You've only taken 3 steps. Here I go. You're basically standing still. Can the Toka help innocent citizens breathe easier? Probably not. Find out why at thetokaonline.ca.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News, the Health Report, brought to you by Cold Drops. Medical wait times for treatment are long and getting longer across Canada. And now Sick Kids Hospital here in Toronto urging you to try your best not to clog up the ER this holiday season. Mark McAllister of City News reports.
Whether it's the holiday baked goods or 'tis the season of nasty winter weather, when you're sick, a trip to the emergency may seem like the only option.
We see kind of a 30 to 40% bump over what we would see routinely, even in the wintertime. So we're seeing lots of kids.
Sick Kids Hospital sees what they call a surge during the holidays every year, as does almost every hospital. The average wait time for ERs in Ontario before being seen by a doctor is 1.6 hours. The overall length of stay for those not admitted can be up to 4 hours.
We're trying to empower them to look for alternatives outside of the ED, really the right care at the right time, at the right place.
All the more reason to perhaps check that list of symptoms twice before furthering the case of holiday blues in the wait room.
Sick Kids have put together an infographic on citynews.com that will help you determine whether or not your injury or illness is worth a trip to the ER. Over in Britain, a 6-year-old girl found a secret plea for help in a Christmas card that her parents had purchased from a store. The card had a message written inside claiming to be from the people who work at the factory in China that makes the cards, alleging they were foreign prisoners forced to work, calling for help. ABC's Julie McFarlane reports from the Foreign Desk in London.
Tesco, the UK's biggest store and the third largest retailer in the world, suspended production at a Chinese factory and launched an investigation after a secret message was found scrawled inside Christmas cards produced in China. "We are foreign prisoners," it said, "forced to work against our will. Please help us and contact human rights organizations." The incident bears resemblance to a letter found in a box of Halloween decorations made in China in 2012 by an Oregon woman. It said thousands of people were forced to work for less than $2 a month, or they could face torture. Julia McFarlane, ABC News at the Foreign Desk in London.
Coming up in just 60 seconds, traffic and weather together on the ones.
680 News Time, 8:50.
The world's greatest magicians come together live on stage for a holiday spectacular. The Illusionist Magic of the Holidays. This breathtaking magic spectacular showcases the jaw-dropping talents of the most incredible illusionists on Earth. See them before they disappear. The Illusionist Magic of the Holidays. Coming to Toronto from January 1st through 5th only. Book at meridianhall.com.
Weather forecast you can bank on, because if we're off by more than 3 degrees,
You can win our growing cash jackpot. The 680 News Weather Guarantee. Enter online at 680news.com.
The weather definitely does have a part to play. We do see more deaths on the streets during the winter months. People trying to stay warm and not necessarily in the safest situations. And when they see the Salvation Army, they know that they're going to get help. Through working with us, the goal is that they will come to know hope.
On the coldest nights, Bradley Harris is there, because everyone needs an army. Donate now at salvationarmy.ca or call 1-800-SAL-ARMY.
680 News Time, 8:51. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Viva Next. It's becoming a very quiet drive now on the highways. Both of the problems we had, both minor, are now gone. Eastbound 401 approaching Winston Churchill. Collision's been cleared off the highway. That never did cause much of a delay, so it's not bad through there now. If you're on the eastbound 407, there is a spot of construction from Mavis to Huron, Ontario. 2 right lanes are blocked off by construction crews. And this is also forcing closed the northbound Mavis ramp to the eastbound 407. So as you travel through that stretch, no access to the highway northbound Mavis to the east 407. Westbound 401's moving well across the city. Nothing to report there. The other problem we had was on the southbound 427 south of Airport Road. Collision there has been cleared off the highway. So, and again, that never did cause much of a delay. It seems most people are snug in their beds with visions of 680 News traffic reports dancing in their heads. If you're traveling the remainder of the highways, routes into and out of downtown, DVP and the Gardner, everything is fine right now. Collision cleanup, actually, that's a police investigation. Still closing Jameson from King to Queen, so that stretch is still off limits. I have a view of this closure at King and Jameson. And police are still parked there across the road, so no access to Jameson between King and Queen. It's the season of giving in Vaughan, and your local shops and businesses can help you find what you're looking for. Stop, shop, and dine on Highway 7 West and Bathurst and Center Streets. Visit vivanext.com. Your next report at 9:01 with the extended forecast. Here's Carl Lamb.
A cold front is dropping through the area. It's also going to drop temperatures as well. We head down to -3 and a wind chill of -8. Winds are going to start lightening up as we head toward midnight. For tomorrow, 0 with a mix of sun and cloud. Wednesday for Christmas, mostly cloudy and a high of 4 degrees. And Boxing Day is when we could see our next chance of some rain making its way in, and also potentially mixing with some ice pellets the further east you go, and a high of 3 degrees. Tonight's overnight low, -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, overcast skies, 5 degrees, and at Pearson Airport, partly cloudy and 4.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Scotia iTrade. Direct invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99 pricing, or up to $500 free equity trades. Details at scotiaitrade.com/winter20.
Coming up at 9 o'clock, we'll have the latest on the homicide investigation into a fatal stabbing in the city's West End. 680 News Time, 8:53.
Hi, it's Fido. Holiday deals are in full swing and the fun continues with Boxing Week. Treat yourself, you've earned it. The Samsung Galaxy S10 or A70 is at $0 on select 2-year plans. $0, never-ending fun. And go all out without going over, with data overage protection included on all new plans. Hurry up in store or at Fido.ca to discover more holiday deals. Conditions apply. Go get it.
If we're off by more than 3 degrees, we'll announce a lucky winner of our growing cash jackpot.
Now, get more chances to win each month and vacation better with Sunwing.
Enter in December for your chance to win an all-inclusive vacation for 2 at the Grand Memories Splash in Punta Cana.
Located near Bavaro Beach with one of the largest water parks, you can enjoy excitement and relaxation with 24-hour room service and 7 enormous water slides.
The 680 News weather guarantee with Sunwing at the Grand Memories Splash.
At 680news.com.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas on the Billboard music charts.
Oh, wow.
Hi, Garrett. All I Want for Christmas Is You remains at #1 this week on the Billboard Hot 100 Singles Chart. And for the first time ever, holiday songs are #1 and 2. Brenda Lee's Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, #2, a record-tying 4 holiday songs in the top 10, including Holly Jolly Christmas and Jingle Bell Rock. On the album chart, Harry Styles' Fine Line debuts at #1. It's his second solo #1, and it had a huge debut. Billboard says the biggest sales in streaming week for a pop album by a male artist in 4 years, and the 3rd biggest week overall for 2019. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
This is 680 News. Coming up in just 60 seconds, our business report.
680 News Time, 8:55.
In this corner, just looking for clean dishes, it's you. And in this corner, smelling like old cheese, it's your dishwasher from the 80s.
Oh, boxing and appliance references? That can only mean one thing. Boxing Day savings are coming to Appliance Canada. Find incredible Boxing Day specials and savings at Appliance Canada. Fridges, dishwashers, ranges, washers, and dryers. Upgrade your kitchen and your life for less with Appliance Canada. Visit appliancecanada.com for a location near you in Toronto, Vaughan, or Mississauga.
The weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go.
The holidays don't quite feel like the holidays without a home. Share the warmth with Toronto's homeless this holiday season by donating at fredvictor.org.
680 News Time, 8:56.
Now time for the 680 News Business Report with Richard Southern.
The decade just about in the books, and so why don't we take a look back at the past 10 years on the TSX? How have Toronto stocks done? Well, not so good when you compare it to Wall Street. The TSX over the past 10 years up 95%. However, the S&P 500 is up 255% over that same time frame. In fact, if you bought a boring old, much less risky index of Canadian guaranteed government bonds, you would have had about the same return as if you bought the TSX index. Mining and energy companies softened over the past 10 years, accounting for much of the disparity. Top stocks on the Toronto market in the past decade. #1, Boyd Group Income Fund. This is an auto repair shop.
out of Winnipeg, 4,300%. That stock's up over 10 years. Constellation Software up 4,200%. And Air Canada flying high. That stock up 3,700%. TSX in the Monday trade closing at a record high. It was up just 10 points at 17,128, but again, that's a record. And the index is up 19.6% on the year. The Dow today up 96 points, 28,551. Boeing gains almost 3% of it. The ouster of its CEO over the 737 MAX scandal. S&P up 2 points, a record at 32.24. The Nasdaq up 20. Oil higher to $60.70. Gold up more than $8 to $1,489 the ounce. All right, what are some of the big economic events to keep an eye on next year? Avery Shenfield with CIBC says the U.S. election is going to be a big one.
I think politics has a lot to do with the 2020 story. How far the U.S. and China go to settle some of these trade disputes. The U.S. election will be certainly important. I'll also be watching here at home what sort of fiscal policy does the federal government deliver in the upcoming budget. Is there some stimulus there that can give the Canadian economy a bit of a lift?
Canadian dollar at 76.05 cents U.S. At the Business Center, I'm Richard Sutter.
When it comes to attracting customers to your business, 680 News has been delivering the goods for decades. Just ask Frank Serpa of Serpa Automotive Group.
We've been advertising on 680 News since 1996. Because we sell various brands, starting from entry-level vehicles to supercars, 680 can provide me with every client for every brand. Because 680 News has a lot of great listeners. Also, the other advertisers that are on 680 raise the credibility of our business.
Sounds like advertising on 680 News has been working wonders for Serpa Automotive.
When you advertise on 680 News, it's like pushing the gas pedal on your car. It's instant performance, instant horsepower to your business. Every time it gets slow in the dealership, I ask my people, are we on 680 or what? It's getting slow over here. Let's get 680 on.
Get 680 News working for you. Call 680 News Advertising at 416-935-NEWS.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for Walmart.
With Walmart's guaranteed unbeatable low prices, save $1.90 on an 18-pack of Grey Ridge large eggs, now $2.77. Walmart. Save money, live better.
In Brampton, partly cloudy, 2 degrees. Right now in downtown Toronto, overcast and 5. This is CFTR 680 News Time, 9 o'clock.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
1 tone on the hour, 2 tones on the half hour.
It is Monday, December 23rd. Good evening, I'm Scott Burnett.
And I'm Eden Tababa. Here's what's making news this hour.
Police investigating the city's 73rd homicide of the year after a man was stabbed this afternoon in Parkdale.
Police are asking for your help in finding a missing 12-year-old girl last seen near Leslie and Finch.
Community safety advocates are out with an urgent reminder to drink responsibly this holiday season.
Toronto police say 3 overnight tow truck fires in North York have been classified as arsons, and they are believed to be linked.
Maple Leafs win their 5th straight. The Raptors in action now, looking for their 6th in a row. Sports at 15.
Boeing shows its CEO the door amid the 737 MAX scandal. TSX, Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ all sort of record high finishes. Business at 20 cents.
680 News Time, 9:01.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Hakeem Optical. A quiet drive now if you're traveling the highways. No problems, east or west 401 across the city, and you'll find routes into and out of downtown very smooth. It's the DVP and the Gardner. Trouble-free, up to speed. We don't have any recent problems really on any of our highways now that caused a significant delay. Problems on the 401 and the 427 cleared away shortly after, about 10 or 15 minutes ago. Neither one caused a delay. And that's the extent of it. We're in pretty good shape right now on the highways. If you're traveling the 407, there is a spot of construction eastbound from Mavis over to Huron, Ontario. 2 right lanes are blocked for construction. No delay through this area, but there's a ramp closure to go along with it. The northbound Mavis ramp to the eastbound 407 is closed as part of this construction project. Traffic spotter called about a crash in Richmond Hill. We have, it sounds like southbound Yonge at 19th Avenue or Gamble blocked, and also westbound 19th Ave right at Yonge is also blocked there. So it's all because of a collision in the intersection. Crews are on scene. So if you're traveling through Yonge and Gamble or Yonge and 19th Ave, just be aware of the restrictions there with this collision cleanup. Also, we have a stretch of Jameson closed still from King to Queen for a police investigation. Receive 8% off designer frames and 30% off lenses during the Hakeem Optical Boxing Week sale. There's thousands of styles to choose from. End the decade in style with Hakeem Optical. Your next report at 9:11, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
That cold front is going to swing through the GTA, dropping us down to -3, wind chill -8 with a partly cloudy sky. And we do have a cooler Christmas Eve on tap, a mix of sun and cloud, and just a high of 0. We'll see some more clouds by the afternoon. Tonight's overnight low, -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, overcast 5 degrees, and at Pearson Airport, a few clouds and 4 degrees. 680 News Time, 9:03.
Detectives investigating the city's 73rd homicide of the year after a man was stabbed in the Parkdale neighborhood earlier this afternoon. Paramedics say that man succumbed to his injuries in hospital.
Police tell 680 News that officer was called to King Street West and Jameson Avenue area just before 2 o'clock. Detective Sergeant Rob North says they're searching for one suspect.
That is to believe that there was an altercation, obviously, between two individuals. Our victim, who's now deceased, and a male, light-skinned black, who has fled the scene on foot.
Anyone that may have witnessed the incident is being asked to contact police.
Police are asking for your help finding a missing 12-year-old girl. Lucille Lee was last seen in the Leslie and Finch neighborhood around 4:30 this afternoon. She's described as Asian, 5'3", weighing 100 pounds, with long black hair. Seen wearing a purple jacket and black pants. If you see her, or if you've seen her, or if you know where she is, you're asked to contact Toronto Police immediately.
680 News Time, 9:04.
Yeah,
the man who allegedly killed 2 international college students last night has been denied bail today. 40-year-old Michael Johnson from Pickering has been identified as the man apparently responsible for the crash. The judge, while denying bail to Johnson, said it, quote, wouldn't be fair to the public to release him. The Pickering man is back in court on January 3rd.
Meantime, police are urging drivers to be careful out on the roads as they continue to roll out their annual Arrive program. Here's 680's Moen Qureshi.
A long line of cars goes up the street in Scarborough as Toronto police are holding a holiday ride check program, trying to make sure people are driving responsibly.
Question is, any alcohol today? No? Okay. Working hard? All right,
it comes after 2 teenage boys
they always worried about if you're working.
Were struck and killed by an alleged impaired driver last night. Sergeant Jason Kraft of Traffic Services says that's a problem.
Saying just slightly higher.
Is that disappointing to you that the numbers are almost exactly the same?
Absolutely. The number one is just disappointing to me. The fact that impaired driving related collisions and deaths are 100% preventable.
In Scarborough, I'm Moen Qureshi.
Meantime, a Good Samaritan called 911 after noticing a drunk driver on the road.
Okay, one, he was in a gas station. He's trying to ask me for directions. He was just slurring. Oh, now he's trying to make a U-turn. Oh, my God. You guys got to get here.
That call led to the arrest of a 37-year-old man. You can watch the full video on the YRP YouTube channel. Police say the number of impaired driving incidents has been steadily rising this year. More than 1,600 people have been charged so far. More than 3,000 people have called to report dangerous driving this year as well. If you suspect dangerous driving, you're being asked to contact police.
680 News Time, 9:06. Well, winter is here, although it may not look or feel like it outside. 680's meteorologist Carl Lamb says we can expect roads clear of weather hazards.
It really is just going to be very good for travel. No issues, no weather concerns to let you know about. But by Thursday, we start to see rain moving into the GTA. And I think for mainly areas in the western portion of the GTA and then also in the city as well, it will be mainly rain.
It may rain on your Boxing Day adventures, but at least we'll stay dry for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
This is 680 News. Provincial police say they're trying to identify a body found inside of a damaged pickup truck. Officers were called to the area of Guelph or Hermosa around 2:30 afternoon in response to reports of a single vehicle crash. Police say a witness reported seeing the truck in a wooded area, and when they arrived, investigators found a body inside the damaged vehicle. The identity of the victim and cause of the collision remains under investigation. Anyone with information on the crash is asked to come forward.
Here with All News Radio 680 News, 23-year-old Samuel Opoku is back in court today. The man accused of throwing buckets of human waste on several people in Toronto last month. Opoku's lawyer, Jordan Wise, says his client appeared in mental health court at Old City Hall.
Hopefully, everyone will be able to move on to the extent that that's possible. Difficult, obviously, for the alleged victims, but this hopefully will just be a terrible chapter, and the entire city hopefully can move on.
Aboka was arrested by Toronto police
What's
last month
Toronto?
after
Just
three
sit down.
attacks in and around the University of Toronto and York University. He's charged with 5 counts each of assault with a weapon and mischief. He was released on bail last week.
Police in Toronto and York Region are investigating a string of suspicious overnight tow truck fires that all happened within minutes of each other. 6 City's Phil Martino tells us investigators are treating each case as arson.
Those series of the fires happened near Finch and Bathurst around 3:30 a.m., according to Stephen Powell, District Chief with Toronto Fire.
And we found a tow truck that was on fire in very close proximity to a house.
A second
Told
tow truck
everybody
fire
they
was
have
reported
guns,
in
so
the
they
same
probably
area a
stopped
few minutes
carrying
later,
loads for a
and then
little while. They're
third
going to
near
start
Yonge and
throwing
Finch
other
just
shit
before
now.
4 a.m. Toronto police say they have been classified as arsons and are believed to be connected. In York Region, police are investigating 2 early morning tow truck fires in Richmond Hill. Both happened around 3:30 a.m. Constable Lorna Cole says police believe they were intentionally set on fire. As for the possibility of this being a tow truck war,
this has certainly come up for us too. I've been asked this, and I know something our investigators are going to look at.
I'm Phil Martino.
It was gift time for animals at the Toronto Zoo.
Because everyone deserves a Christmas gift.
Especially when they're enriching.
Purpose of these items are to have the animals promote their natural behavior. So if an animal in the wild would be tearing stuff up to find food, we like to give them items that they can do that. Depending on the species of animal, we provide them with a wide variety of different enrichment items.
And the special holiday wrapping for these festive enrichments were created by the public at events that were held over the past few days. And between Boxing Day and January 5th, you can witness several of the animals receiving their festive treats. At the Toronto Zoo, Audra Brown, City News.
680 News Time, 9:09.
I was hungry and you gave me something to eat.
I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink.
The Scott Mission has been helping
10
Toronto's
minutes.
hungry and homeless since
15
1941.
minutes out
And
of
this
it. I don't want to
Christmas,
report
they really
anything.
need
Get out of
your
here.
help. You can provide a complete Christmas meal for just
Terrorism. I'm so
$4.25
concerned
per
for
person
terrorism
and
when you
ensure
report it.
that everyone who comes to the Scott Mission is warmly welcomed by people who care. Make your gift online today at scottmission.com or call 416-923-2400.
Now the 680 News gas price update and processing price of gas won't change at midnight, holding at $1.18.9 a liter.
680 News Time, 9:10.
Catch all the excitement of your favorite slots and table games at Casino Woodbine. Sign up for a free One Rewards membership today, and you could be eligible to get your first $250 on us. Need a lift? We've added new Toronto shuttle bus routes that will take you right to our front doors. Must be
Casino
19
won't
plus.
that work.
Rewards membership required. If you gamble, play smart. Casino Woodbine. Toronto's home for gaming and entertainment.
Need window inspiration? Then you need to speak to the experts. Hi, I'm Tom Rokiki of Inline Fiberglass Windows and Doors. Our window experts are experienced in working with architects, builders, and homeowners to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So whether you're replacing your old windows or building your dream home, dream the dream with Inline Fiberglass. If you can dream it, we can build it. Visit our Factory Direct showroom, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or inlinefiberglass.com.
680 News Time, 9:11.
Now traffic and weather together on the ones. Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Nikon Canada. Again, a pretty quiet drive if you're traveling the highways right now. No problems on the east or westbound 401. It's moving well across the city as far as I can tell. You'll find a bit of construction if you're east on the 407. Eastbound 407 from Mavis to Huron, Ontario. We have the 2 right lanes blocked with construction. There's not much of a delay through this area, but watch out for the crews. You want to be aware of this ramp closure that goes along with it, though. It's the northbound Mavis ramp to the eastbound 407 that's also closed for this overnight construction. No recent issues on the Gardner or the Don Valley Parkway if you're on your way into or out of downtown. In fact, the remainder of our highways are in good shape right now. We have this ongoing closure of Jameson, though. Jameson is closed from King to Queen. That's for a police investigation. Still have Toronto police blocking this end of the of this closure that I can see. It's King and Jameson. They're not letting anybody through just yet, so plan for that if your normal route takes you along Jameson between King and Queen. Also, traffic spotter calling about this crash in Richmond Hill. It's at Yonge Street and Gamble, or 19th Ave. Expect lane restrictions there because of a collision, and we had emergency crews on scene. Snap up a Boxing Week bargain on Nikon DSLR cameras and lenses. Right now, save up to $800 during the Capture the Savings event at your local Nikon authorized dealer. Your next report at 9:21, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
After a warm day, bundle up if you're headed out this evening. We have temperatures falling tonight, and that cold front moves through. We will have an overnight low of -3 and that wind chill of -8. For tomorrow, Christmas Eve, a high of 0 with a mix of sun and cloud, and it will be on the cooler side, but not as windy. And then for Christmas Day, mostly cloudy and a high of +4. Tonight's overnight low, -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, overcast skies, 5 degrees at Pearson Airport, partly cloudy, and 4. 680 News Time, 9:13.
It's a common practice for many of us to want to get the new year off to a fresh start, and that often means making New Year's resolutions. But one expert says about 1 in 4 of us who make those resolutions will dump them in a week. Dr. Simon Sherry is a clinical psychologist and perfectionism expert with Crux Psychology. He tells 680 News many of us have to make the same New Year's resolutions 5 to 10 times before they actually stick.
New Year's resolutions are quite common. In fact, more than half of North American adults will make some sort of resolution. And among those who make resolutions, it's not uncommon for people to make
I
3
see what I'm
or
fucking
more
doing. I'm being fucking
resolutions.
retarded.
Dr. Sherry
It's
says
my
common
fault.
resolutions include quitting smoking or trying to lose weight. He says while many bail out after about a week, some 40% keep their resolutions for about 6 months.
680 News Time, 9:14.
For 8 days, Toronto glows a little bit brighter.
You have like
as
July
giant
1st,
outdoor
because
menorahs light up the night sky. As you travel our city, you'll see them at Old City Hall, Nathan Phillips Square, lighting up the foot of Queen's Park. There are some 30 of them around the GTA, shedding light from Niagara Falls all the way up to Aurora. These menorahs have been placed by the Chabad Lubavitch organization to help publicize the message of Hanukkah, the miraculous triumph of religious freedom over oppression. Still, the main celebration of Hanukkah remains a family affair. So in the evening of each of the 8 days of Hanukkah, gather your family and light the menorah, adding an additional flame each night. If you'd like to find out more or for a holiday guide, visit us online at Hanukkah.ca. This message is brought to you by Steele's Memorial Chapel, wishing you a happy Hanukkah. This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Overcast and 5 degrees in downtown Toronto. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Scott Burnett.
And I'm Eden Tababa. Here are the top stories this hour.
Police are investigating Toronto's 73rd homicide of 2019 after a man was stabbed in Parkdale this afternoon. He later died of his injuries in hospital. The hunt now on for a suspect seen running from that area near King and Jameson around 2 o'clock.
Toronto police are asking for your help in finding a missing 12-year-old girl last seen near Leslie and Finch around 4:30 this afternoon. Lucia Lee is 5'3", 100 pounds with long black hair. Last seen wearing a purple winter jacket and black pants.
If you're dreaming of a white Christmas, keep dreaming. There's not much in the way of weather systems heading our way, which means both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day will be pretty dry, but also pretty gray, with the potential for rain on Boxing Day.
For these stories and more, you can head over to the 680 app or head to 680news.com.
Now 680 Sports, and from Sportsnet 590 event brought to you by 2001 Audio Video, Andy McNamara.
Thanks, Scott. Down by 10 at halftime, the Raptors are trying to pull off another come-from-behind victory. They were up late in the fourth, and Indiana just took back over under a minute to play. The Maple Leafs sent their fans into the Christmas break happy with a wild one against the Hurricanes, and here's how it finished up.
The Leafs miraculously come from behind after leading 3-0 to win the game 8-6.
They sure did. Joe Bowen with the call on Sportsnet 590. The Fan. Leafs riding a 5-game winning streak. They sit second in the Atlantic Division and get back at it Friday in New Jersey. One other final in the NHL. Wild shut out the Flames 3-0. 8 other games currently underway. And Monday Night Football, the Packers trail the Vikings 10-3 in the second quarter, battling for the NFC North. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
680 News Time, 9:17.
Paul Cook and Catherine Chute.
Weekday mornings starting at 5:30.
This is 680 News.
2001 Audio Video's Boxing Day sale is on now. All locations are jam-packed with wall-to-wall specials. From 4K smart TVs to the best in streaming and home audio. All on sale at 2001 for the absolute lowest price anywhere. Wrap up all your Christmas shopping at 2001. The home entertainment experts. 2001.
Neil? Toyota. Well, when you see that every single individual from the moment you walk in is gearing all of what they're doing towards a positive experience, you kind of feel that there's something intentional going on, and you can't ask for more than that.
That's nice to hear.
Aaron Park. It's time to Toyota. Time to get 0.49% finance rates up to 48 months on 2020 Corollas. All with Toyota Safety Sense. Aaron Park.
Here with All News Radio 680 News, it's 9:18. The head of the UN is criticizing a court in Saudi Arabia that sentenced 5 people to death for the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The grisly slaying in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul drew international condemnation and raised questions about how it could have been carried out without the knowledge of Saudi leaders. UN spokesperson Stefan Dujarric says questions linger about the true culpability in the slaying.
The Secretary General continues to stress the need for an independent and impartial investigation into the murder to ensure full examination of and accountability for human rights violations committed in the case.
A United Nations investigator tweeting that the verdicts are a mockery, while Amnesty International called the outcome a whitewash. Second-degree murder charges have been laid against a man following the suspicious death of a 51-year-old woman in the Annex yesterday afternoon. Toronto police called to a residence in the Harvard and Brunswick Avenue area around 2 o'clock. The woman suffering injuries to her head and later died in hospital. She has since been identified as Julie Berman from Toronto. 29-year-old Colin Harnack, also from Toronto, now facing a charge of second-degree murder. This is the city's 72nd homicide of the year. A total of 69 Canadians will be deployed to battle wildfires in Australia before year's end. As part of international agreements, the Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Centre has sent fire managers and strategists. Eric Kennedy from the York University Disaster Management Program says it is a hot, dry, fast-burning scenario.
We've unfortunately seen hundreds of homes lost already. We've seen an incredible amount of smoke in Sydney and other cities because of the fires. And unfortunately, we saw a couple of volunteer firefighters killed in the firefighting effort.
Australian firefighters have come to Canada to help several times before. This is the first time Canadian fighters are going to be lending a hand down under. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and your extended forecast.
680 News Time, 9:20.
You know what's crazy? Not using smarter tools to manage your small business. You work too hard to work this hard. Collecting receipts? Is this the 80s?
QuickBooks gives you a smarter set of business tools that do all the hard work for you. You may work for yourself, but you don't have to go at it alone.
It's easier than rewinding a VHS before returning it.
You earned it. We're here to make sure you get it. And for a limited time, save 70% when you buy Intuit QuickBooks. QuickBooks, backing you. Visit QuickBooks.ca for full offer details.
At Sicily Honda, our family wants your family to bring home a little joy during our Bring Home a Honda event. Come in on Boxing Day for the best deals of the year and receive a 55-inch TV or 1,000 Air Miles reward miles with your purchase. All inventory has been reduced, and yes, we need your trade-in. There's also a draw each hour to win a trip to Vegas. Conditions apply. Go to SiciliHonda.com for details and visit Sicily Honda, 88 Steeles Avenue, just west of Yonge.
News Time 921 traffic and weather together on the ones. First up, the traffic center with Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Marquee Jewelers. We have a minor problem on the westbound 401. West of the Allen in the collectors, it's a reported vehicle fire on the shoulder. Never saw any flames, but now we have emergency crews on scene, fire crews, OPP, and a tow truck. And cars are sort of sticking into the right lane. So if you're traveling through here west on the 401 west of the Allen in the collectors, a bit tricky to see because the highway's a little windy in this area. So watch out for the crews just west of the Allen in the collectors. It's just at the point actually where the Allen ramps join the west 401. That's where this problem is on the shoulder. Remainder of the West 401's in pretty good shape, though, and even through that stretch, there are no delays. You'll also find no delays on the eastbound 401 as you cross the GTA. DVP and Gardner both moving well into and out of downtown. Only other lane restrictions on our highways are on the eastbound 407. From Mavis to Huron, Ontario, 2 right lanes are blocked for construction. And they've had to close down a ramp as part of this as well. The northbound Mavis ramp to the eastbound 407 has been shut down for overnight construction. You may still find lane restrictions in Richmond Hill at Yonge and Gamble or 19th Ave. At that intersection, we had a collision being cleaned up. Looks like delays are improving in this area, though. We've also got still a closure of Jameson from King to Queen, shut down for a police investigation, so no access to that stretch. The holidays have arrived at Marquee Jewelers. Get up to 70% off select merchandise for that special someone in your life. 2 Bloor Street West, inside the Cumberland Terrace. Your next report at 9:31, and with the extended forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
Partly cloudy tonight, and that cold front moves through, which will drop temperatures as well. Those winds do lighten up as we head toward midnight. Low of -3 will feel like -8. For tomorrow, a high of 0, a mix of sun and cloud, and then we'll see some more clouds as we head toward the afternoon and evening. By Wednesday, it's a mostly cloudy day, a high of 4 degrees. And then by Thursday, that's when we could see our next chance of some rain and also the potential for some ice pellets further east, a high of 3 degrees on Boxing Day. Tonight's overnight low, -3.
Downtown Toronto, right now, overcast 5 degrees, overcast and 4 at Pearson International Airport. Coming up at 9:30, the hunt continues for a suspect after a stabbing in Parkdale this afternoon turned fatal. The victim succumbing to their injuries in hospital. And Toronto police are asking for your help finding a missing 12-year-old girl last seen near Leslie and Finch this afternoon. Lucia Lee, 100 pounds, 5'3", with long black hair, seen wearing a purple winter jacket and black pants. We'll get the latest
put that picture right at the front of the website on Google somewhere. I could have seen that.
Every 10 minutes on the ones.
Traffic alerts
Posted it somewhere.
Is 680 News.
I'm Christopher Lena, General Manager of Lexus Downtown. I hope you're free Friday or Saturday. It's our Boxing Week event, and it's a great opportunity to get an exceptional rate on a Lexus, as low as 0% on selected models. Cash incentives up to $8,000 on selected 2019 models. And for 2 days only, special prices on all pre-owned and demonstrator vehicles. I'd love to meet you. Visit lexusdowntown.ca for details. Part of Downtown Auto Group. You are what drives us.
You've heard the saying, like a kid at Christmas. That's how excited we are at 98.1 CHFI. We can't wait for Christmas. Literally. So we're playing all Christmas music.
Yeah, it's every day. Christmas is the best time of year, and we love to bring it to you. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
Happy holidays.
Toronto's Christmas music station is
98.1 CHFI.
A 70-year-old man is in hospital with serious injuries after being hit by a car in Mississauga today. It happened around 2 this afternoon in the Kennedy and Indian Trail area. The driver involved remained on the scene. No word yet on any charges at this time. All Christmas news in 60 seconds.
Devastating wildfires in Fort McMurray.
Christmas news.
Extreme flooding in Ottawa. An empty kitchen table at Christmas. We'll be there because everyone needs an army. Donate this holiday season at salvationarmy.ca.
You got stories about drunk guys stealing fucking Christmas trees.
And head to the car. Slide into the driver's seat and begin. Every time you start your car should be the start of an adventure. Where will yours take you? At Von Chrysler Fiat, we want you to be satisfied from the moment you walk in till the moment you drive off the lot. Come in today to start your adventure. Von Chrysler Fiat. We stand behind our cars. Join the family at VonChrysler.com.
All Christmas news from the 25s brought to you by the Scott Mission. Well, it may not be as chilly as we'd expected outside, but inside the Scott Mission will be warm and welcoming. Doors will be open as they are year-round on Christmas Day at the Mission for the homeless, starting with a hot meal with all the trimmings and a Christmas gift for each guest. Since 1941, the Mission has been serving up Christmas meals, and this year more than 250 people are expected on Christmas morning. This year's Christmas meal will include cream of tomato soup, chef's salad, roasted turkey, and homemade cookies.
Christmas news at 25 minutes past every hour on 680 News.
Richard Southern. Safe to say 2019 has probably been the toughest year in history for Boeing, the world's largest airplane manufacturer. Its top-selling jet, the 737 MAX, was grounded in March following 2 deadly crashes. It was later revealed that some employees had tried to alert executives to issues with the jet.
that apparently fell on deaf ears. Well, today, the Boeing CEO, Dennis Muhlenberg, was showing the door, quote unquote, resigning. He had been CEO since 2015 and actually started at the aircraft manufacturer as an intern and worked his way up. In now is David Calhoun. He's going to be the new CEO, and Boeing seems to be taking a new direction with Mr. Calhoun. He's the global head of private equity at Blackstone as it stands right now. Formerly had worked at General Electric, so he's not a Boeing insider. He doesn't come from an airline, and in that respect, it's a very un-Boeing hiring. Clearly, they're looking for an outsider to perhaps change the culture inside. Boeing stock up almost 3%, about $337 as a result. Stocks closed at record highs. The benchmarks did. The TSX up just 10 points, but an all-time high close at 17,128. The Dow up 96 points to 28,551. S&P up 2. NASDAQ up 20. Oil up to $60.66. Gold higher at $1,489. One of the biggest business news stories of the past year has been Beyond Meat, a huge IPO and a lot of attention for the plant-based protein meat company. What's next for them? Chuck Moore is the Chief Growth Officer.
Well, I think, sausage for sure. I mean, we know we have sausage links in the U.S., and it's really terrific. Probably it's my favorite product. So the sausage will be coming to Canada next year. We've already announced publicly that we're looking at things like bacon and steak. So you can imagine poultry is another one. So if you can imagine an animal product, we're looking at that.
Beyond Meat stock up more than 1% today, $77.74. Canadian dollar at 76 cents U.S. At the Business Center, I'm Richard Sutter.
This Boxing Week at Rogers, you can unwrap more during the Wrapped in Red event. That means more of our greatest offers of the year, like buy one, get one, when you activate 2 lines for the Samsung Galaxy S10 and the Galaxy S10e. Infinite data you can share when you get them both on select 2-year Rogers Infinite plans. And more wireless listening with premium sound when you get a pair of Samsung Galaxy Buds free. Get twice the nice with Samsung Foco and free Galaxy Buds while quantities last during the Wrapped in Red event. On now at Rogers.
During Boxing Week, would you rather save 60% on a big bag of road salt or save big money on a sun vacation? Do we need to ask? Save hundreds on all-inclusive vacations and get an instant cashback bonus during sell-off vacations Boxing Week sale. And save that salt for your margarita. Visit one of our 6 stores in the GTA.
You'll hear it here first.
Breaking news when it happens.
On 680 News.
This is CFTR 680 News. Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day and always be in the know. It's 9:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good evening. This is Monday, December the 23rd. I'm Ethan Tababa.
I'm Scott Burnett. Here's what's making news right now.
Homicide detectives are investigating a stabbing in the city's Parkdale neighborhood.
Toronto police asking for your help finding a missing 12-year-old girl.
40-year-old man will not be released on bail after his involvement in a fatal collision.
A list of the most popular New Year's resolutions and how you can actually see them through.
Raptors in Indiana trying for their 6th straight win, while the Maple Leafs take a wild one at home over Carolina. Sports at 45.
Box office blunders Universal with a catastrophe with Cats over the weekend, and Disney falls on some poor attendance numbers for Star Wars. TFX, Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ notch records. Business at 56.
Time 9:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Shell. We have this problem on the westbound 401 west of the Allen in the collectors. The right lane now fully blocked by crews as they deal with this reported vehicle fire. But it appears to be just a stolen vehicle. I never saw any flames or smoke or anything. So that vehicle involved is now on shoulder. It's being hooked up to a tow truck. But crews are in the right lane just providing a little bit of a buffer. We've also got not only MTO, but other emergency crews on scene here. West 401 just a bit slow as you travel through this stretch. This is west of the Allen in the collectors where the right lane is blocked. Major of the West 401's in good shape, though. And there are no problems to report on the eastbound 401. It's a smooth sail right across the GTA. Construction on the eastbound 407 from Mavis to Huron, Ontario. 2 right lanes are blocked. Not much of a delay through this stretch. It does come with a ramp closure, though. The northbound Mavis ramp to the eastbound 407 also shut down as part of this overnight roadwork. And the only other problem, really worth mentioning, is a closure off the highways. Jameson remains closed from King to Queen. And it's all for a police investigation. It's simple to get 50 Air Miles bonus miles. Just fuel up 4 times with any Shell fuel, only until December 27th. Details at shell.ca/Air Miles with fuel. Your next report at 9:41, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
It will be a cool night across the GTA. Those winds will eventually die down after about midnight, and we'll have a partly cloudy sky down to -3. And for tomorrow, it sets up for a colder day. We do have a mix of sun and cloud, a high of 0, and tomorrow's low -1. We'll see some more clouds by the afternoon as well. Tonight's overnight low -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, an overcast sky sitting at 5 degrees. 680 news time, 9:32.
Police are now investigating the city's 73rd homicide of 2019 after one man was fatally stabbed in the Parkdale area. And paramedics say the man succumbed to his injuries in hospital. Officers were called to King Street West and Jameson Avenue area just before 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Police telling 680 News they're now searching for a black male suspect that was seen fleeing the area on foot. Homicide detectives have since taken over this investigation with more details expected. Anyone that may have witnessed the incident is being asked to contact police.
And Toronto police asking for assistance after a 12-year-old girl went missing this afternoon. Lucia Lee was last seen today at 4:30 p.m. near the Leslie and Finch area wearing a purple winter jacket and black pants. She described as 5'3", 100 pounds with long black hair. Anyone with information as to where she is asked to contact police.
The man alleged to have hit and killed 2 college students has been denied bail. 40-year-old Michael Johnson from Pickering has been identified as the man responsible for last night's fatal collision. The judge denying Johnson bail earlier this evening, saying it wouldn't be fair to the public to release him. Safe driving is on the minds of many this holiday season. Officer Jason Kraft with Toronto Police tweeted about a 3-day suspension they issued to a driver just this afternoon as a part of their ride program. 680's Momin Qureshi reports incidents like these are why the Arrive Alive Drive Sober campaign are so important.
With Christmas Eve tomorrow, more and more people will be celebrating, so Toronto police are here in Scarborough doing the holiday ride check, trying to make sure you're getting to your destination safely. Hi, sir.
Thank you. We're just running a ride spot and getting alcohol tonight. No, fair enough, thank you.
Unfortunately, this ride check comes after 2 teenage Centennial College students were killed by an alleged drunk driver last night. Sergeant Jason Kraft says there is no excuse for driving impaired.
If you're a driver of a motor vehicle, have a plan. Choose an alternate ride. If you're setting up a Christmas party at the office or hosting a family and friends party, ensure that everybody gets home safely. If you're out on the road and you observe someone who you suspect is an impaired driver, consider that a crime in progress and call 911.
In Scarborough, I'm Momin Qureshi.
Meantime, York Regional Police have had some help getting a suspected drunk driver off the road this weekend. A concerned citizen called 911 around 8:30 Friday night to report what appears to be an impaired motorist in the Bathurst and Bloomington area.
The green Subaru Outback.
Green Subaru Outback? What's the license plate?
See the car. You won't see the car.
Vehicle is on file as stolen. And vehicle on file as stolen.
That call led to the arrest of a 37-year-old man and the recovery of a stolen vehicle. Mukhtar Abdullahi is facing numerous charges, including impaired operation and assault. So far this year, police say over 1,600 people have been charged with impaired driving in York Region.
680 News Time 9:35. A 70-year-old man seriously injured after being hit by a car in Mississauga. It happened in the Kennedy and Indian Trail area just after 2 this afternoon. Field police saying the driver involved remained at the scene and is cooperating with police.
680 News Time 9:36. The OPP is investigating after they found a body inside of a damaged pickup truck today. Provincial officers got the call around 1 this afternoon in response to reports of a single vehicle crash in the area of Guelph-Hermosa. They received reports that a truck was in a thicket of trees, and when they got there, officers found the damaged vehicle and a body inside. There's still no word yet on the identity of the victim or what caused the crash. Any witnesses or anyone with information related to the crash are asked to contact the OPP.
The man accused of throwing human waste on 5 people around Toronto University campus is making another appearance in court today. This time,
put him in with the drunk driver. Put them in the same cell together.
Samuel Opoku is facing 5
turn
charges
off the
of
water.
mischief, 5 charges of assault with a weapon. His lawyer Jordan Wise says it was a priority to bring his client back to a court in a timely manner.
To follow up and to ensure that he's doing well now that he's out of custody, and I'm very happy and pleased to report that he is doing well and he is receiving the care and the attention that he requires.
Opoku was arrested by Toronto police last month and was released on bail last week.
This is 680 News at 9:37. Toronto police are investigating 3 tow truck fires in North York, all within an hour of each other. They believe are all connected as well. As 680's Bill Martino tells us, police in York are also looking into suspicious overnight vehicle fires.
Stephen Powell, District Chief with Toronto Fire, says crews were called to a tow truck fire near Finch and Bathurst around 3:30 a.m. The flames spread to a nearby house and garage.
We also had 2 other incidences, one involving just a tow truck, and the other one, it was a tow truck, but the resident of the property came out and was able to put the fire out.
Toronto police say the incidents have been classified as arsons and they're believed to be linked.
In York Region,
police are investigating 2 tow truck fires in Richmond Hill around the same time, one near Bathurst and Major Mackenzie, the other near Bathurst and Gamble Road. Police say both vehicles are believed to have been intentionally set on fire. Police will not say if the fires are linked to a possible tow truck war. I'm Phil Martino.
Here is All News Radio 680 News. We may not have a white Christmas in our near future, but 680's meteorologist Carl Lamb says we should be able to make use of the nicer weather to get errands done.
As we head into Christmas Eve, looks like things are going to be relatively calm. It's not going to be nearly as windy tomorrow as it was today. But we do have a mix of sun and cloud, and it should be relatively calm. So I think if you do have any travel plans to get to a family Christmas celebration, or if you're just taking care of any last-minute shopping tomorrow, I think it really will be a great day to do just that.
Glass half full kind of guy. He also says Christmas Day will be dry and gray with no active weather in the forecast.
Quitting smoking or drinking are amongst the most common New Year's resolutions, according to one expert. But he does say most of us need to make the same resolutions multiple times before they finally stick. Dr. Simon Cherry is a clinical psychologist and perfectionism expert from Crux Psychology and tells us more than half of North American adults will make some kind of resolution, with many making 3 or more.
How successful are we at our resolutions? And evidence would show that many of us have to make the same New Year's resolution as many as 5 to 10 times before we actually lock it down and succeed. And common New Year's resolutions might be something like stopping drinking, stopping smoking, or losing weight. And these are no small challenges.
Dr. Simon says about 25% of people who make resolutions abandon them in as little as a week. Coming up in just 60 seconds, traffic and weather together on the ones, but first to check on the price of the pumps.
680 News Time at 9:39.
Need a last-minute gift for the guy that has everything? Huh, look at that. A heavy-duty nose hair trimmer. Well, that's not insulting at all. Why don't you hurry into the Boxing Week sale at Sleep Country and give the gift of better sleep instead? Plus, get amazing prices on bedding essentials and mattresses. And get a Hot Buy Sealy Optimum Eurotop Queen mattress with cooling technology, just $449. Hurry in store or online because this price ends Sunday. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
Oh dear.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Everyone says the price of gas won't change at midnight. It's expected to hold at $1.18.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather together next. 680 News Time 9:40.
Some holiday deals on the internet sound good. A half-price invisible unicorn? Sold. But when you think about them, empty. You got me again, internet. Not so much. Get a great holiday deal you don't have to think about at the Bring Home a Honda event. Lease the new 2020 Honda Civic LX for just $65 weekly at 3.99% and $0 down, including a $750 Honda bonus. Includes freight and fees for 60 months. Taxes extra OAC. See HondaOntario.com. Bring Home a Honda. No thinking required.
Dear everybody, you'll see thousands of images today. Here are 3 you wonon't see.
A girl who uses a walker eating ice cream with her friends.
A young woman with a prosthetic leg modeling the latest denim trends.
A kid who uses a wheelchair.
Why wouldn't you see that?
You're influenced by the images you see and the ones you don't. It's time to include disability in the picture. Sign Holland Bloorview's Dear Everybody Agreement and help create a world without stigma for kids and youth with disabilities. Visit deareverybody.ca.
680 News Time 9:41.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Subaru. The only problem we had was on the westbound 401 west of the Allen in the collectors, past tense, because it has now cleared. That stolen vehicle towed away. Emergency crews have left the scene, so all lanes are open there. West 401 west of the Allen collectors. And as far as the drive on the West 401 goes, across the city, very smooth right now. Similar to the eastbound 401, not seeing any problems, and it's in good shape right across the GTA. Also good are routes into and out of downtown, DVP and the Gardner. No problems on either one. We do have a stretch of construction on the eastbound 407. It's from Mavis to Huron, Ontario, where 2 right lanes are blocked for maintenance. And as part of this ramp closure, the northbound Mavis ramp to the eastbound 407 has also been shut down by crews doing this overnight construction. You'll find if you're off the highways, we still have this closure of Jameson from King to Queen. I'm keeping an eye on the police cruiser here. It's parked at Jameson and King, preventing traffic from going north. So this stretch from Jameson, from King up to Queen closed for a police investigation. Still no word on when this may wrap up and this section reopens. Enjoy all the winter classics at your local Ontario Subaru dealer. Hurry in for great rates and a holiday bonus during the My Subaru Gave to Me holiday event. Your next report at 9:51, and with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
After a warm day, bundle up if you're headed out this evening. We have temperatures falling tonight, and that cold front moves through. We will have an overnight low of -3 and that wind chill of -8 for tomorrow. Christmas Eve, a high of 0 with a mix of sun and cloud, and it will be on the cooler side, but not as windy. And then for Christmas Day, mostly cloudy and a high of +4. Tonight's overnight low, -3.
Downtown Toronto right now, overcast and 5 degrees, overcast and 4 at Pearson. 680 News Time, 9:43.
The holidays can be a dangerous time for our pets, as if pet owners are not too careful. 680 Student Benning takes a look at some of the things you should avoid.
Hope Schultz is president of WebPet.com. Food we like isn't great for Fido.
Let's take, for example, turkey. Turkey can sometimes be greasy, and people love to feed it to their pets, and that can cause a lot of gastric problems for your pet.
Christmas dinner isn't the only thing that's bad.
And there's lots of chocolate and candy, and chocolate is very toxic to pets, specifically dark chocolate. And then think about all the poinsettias that are around. They can be quite toxic and poisonous to pets.
And keep tinsel away from your cat. It could choke on it. I'm Jim Benning.
Coming up in health and lifestyle news, a major shakeup at the Vancouver International Film Festival as a top programmer faces allegations of sexual harassment. 680 News Time, 9:44.
Looking to sell your home? I'm
Tell
Scott
me what,
McGilvery.
the fuck?
I've worked in Toronto for years.
Now
and
I really wanna
that
know.
Your home needs the best marketing to create the most demand. Contact Frank Leo and Associates at Remax West and start packing. Go to getleo.com today.
Hi, it's Fido. Holiday deals are in full swing, and the fun continues with Boxing Week. Keep the best gift for yourself. The brilliant iPhone XR at $0 on select 2-year plans. It's brilliant in every way, including the price. And go all
In
out
every
without
way,
going
like it's
over.
smart too,
Fido
but-
fridge protection included on all new plans. Hurry up in store or at Fido.ca to discover more holiday deals. Conditions apply. Fido. Go get it.
Hey Toronto, Scott McGilvery here. Need to sell your home on time? Frank Leo and Associates of Remax West spends millions of dollars in marketing to sell on your deadline at a price you agree to, or he will buy it. Go to getleo.com and start packing.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Cloudy skies and 5 degrees in downtown Toronto. Good evening. From the 680 News Broadcast Center, I'm Eden DeBeva, and here are the top stories this hour. A man has died in hospital after being stabbed in the Parkdale neighborhood earlier this afternoon. This is the city's 73rd homicide. At this time, the only suspect description from police is a man spotted running from the scene. And Toronto police are asking for assistance after a 12-year-old girl went missing this afternoon. Lucia Lee was last seen today at 4:30 p.m. near the Leslie and Finch area, wearing a purple winter jacket and black pants. Lee is described as 5'3", 100 pounds with long black hair. 680 News Time, 9:45. Now 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan, and with Bodog.net, here's Andy McNamara.
Thanks, Eden. The Raptors trailed by 10 at halftime, forced overtime, but their comeback fell just short to the Indiana Pacers, 120-115. That snaps the Raps a 5-game winning streak. Well, it was a scoring bonanza in Toronto this afternoon as the Maple Leafs outlasted the Carolina Hurricanes 8-6. This turned out to be the winner. So look like a Miners in a breakaway!
I know there's shit happening right now. They won't tell us about this sometime tomorrow.
7-6. The extra point is good.
And
And the final would be 8-6. Joe Bowen with the call on Sportsnet 590. The Fan. Leafs head into the Christmas break having won 5 in a row. They take on the Devils next on Friday. And in Monday Night Football, the Packers down 10-6 to the Vikings late in the second quarter. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
680 News Time, 9:47.
Bodog.net wants to show you how to make a play this football season. When it feels like the whole country says no, you're asking why not. When everyone and their mother has the favorite, you're taking the underdog. When all of social media says, you got no chance, you say, I got this. When everyone says it can't be done, you're already planning to treat yourself. Don't miss a chance to make a play at Bodog.net, your source of free casino games, poker strategy, and live football odds.
Ready for super Boxing Day savings? Canada Computers is having a massive Boxing Day sale December 26th to January 2nd. Check out deals like LG Smart 4K TV for $649.99. Free LG soundbar worth $149.99 with this purchase. Teen 128GB USB 3.0 flash drive for $9.99. MSI 27-inch optics full HD gaming monitor for $259.90. For the nearest location, visit CanadaComputers.com. Limit 1 per customer while quantities last.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. Now time for the News Health Report brought to you by Cold Drops. Police say the second largest fentanyl bust in the Durham area has led to 1 arrest and the seizure of over $1.5 million worth of drugs. Project Versa saw 5 search warrants were executed at different locations in Toronto, York, and Durham. Confiscated items including 14.5 kilograms of fentanyl, 2.5 kilograms of meth, as well as cocaine and MDMA. Investigators also recovering a loaded firearm, ammunition, and $70,000 cash. 41-year-old Dung Nguyen from Richmond Hill is now facing multiple charges. And it's a major shakeup for the Vancouver International Film Festival. One of its top programmers has been removed following allegations of violence and sexual harassment against female filmmakers. And as 680's Curtis Doring reports, they're not the only film festival cutting ties with the programmer.
In a statement, the festival cites what it calls serious allegations made on social media against a former programmer, but does not name the individual, nor does it detail what they're accused of doing. But several lengthy statements posted by filmmakers earlier this month fill in the story. One claims Adam Cook sexually harassed her at a film festival party. Another claims to have been in an abusive relationship with him, during which he punched through a door, sending shards of glass into her face. VIFF has now canceled the Future Present film series Cook was in charge of. It adds it's committed to improving its safety standards and bolstering its code of conduct. Sheffield Docfest in the UK has also announced that Cook has resigned as its senior programmer, a job he had started just 1 month ago. I'm Curtis Doring.
This is 680 News. It's been 10 years since 4 workers died doing balcony repairs on a high-rise near Kipling and Steeles. The platform that 6 people were working on that day was meant for only 2 people. One of the survivors told a court in 2015 he had never worked at such heights before and that they only received 30 minutes of training beforehand. Training and maintenance rules have been overhauled in the years since that horrible day, but experts say a total shift in work culture needs to take place to ensure this never happens again. A coroner's inquest into the case was called last year, but there's no word yet on when it will actually begin. Coming up in just 60 seconds, traffic and weather together on the ones. 680 News Time, 9:50.
When businesses advertise on both 680 News and 98.1 CHFI, not only do they reach a huge GTA audience, they also have an expert creative and marketing team on their side. This is Valerie from Martin Daniel Interiors.
Our account managers at both 680 and CHFI have been great. They've actually been the reason for our success. We have had many brainstorming meetings all together to come up with the best concept to grow our business. On the advice of my account reps, we decided to use my voice as the main voice representing the family at Martin Daniel Interiors. It has really played a big part in our recognition in the city.
Sounds like Martin Daniel Interiors trusts the team at 680 News and CHFI.
I'm very comfortable discussing our business needs with my account reps, and I feel that this trust that we have allows them to give me the best direction on what can continue to grow our business. It is astonishing how many people will come up to me and say, hey, are you Valerie from that radio commercial?
Get 680 News and 98.1 CHFI working for you. Call 416-935-NEWS.
680 News Time, 9:51. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Hamilton International Airport. The list of problems on your drive is short right now, so short that Well, there are 0 on the highways.
Get
If
to
you're
it.
on the major routes, we do have a spot of construction. It's eastbound 407 from Mavis to Huron, Ontario. 2 right lanes are blocked for construction. And as part of this, they've closed the northbound Mavis ramp to the eastbound 407 to go along with the overnight construction. As far as the 401 goes, no issues in the east or westbound direction, and you'll find the Gardner and Don Valley in good shape if you're still traveling into or out of downtown. The rest of our highways, in fact, just fine. So it's just that one spot of construction on the eastbound 407, and if you're anywhere else, then your drive is unaffected by anything right now. Just getting word of a new problem off the highways. We have a collision at Finch and Midland, so expect lane restrictions there. We have emergency crews just arriving on that scene. Minor delays in the area. If you're traveling along this section of Jameson, well, you won't be. From Jameson closed from King to Queen. It's all for a police investigation. We still have police parked at King and Jameson, blocking traffic from going north onto Jameson. So this police investigation on the go since about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Still no indication of when this section may reopen. This winter escaped the cold with flights to Cuba, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, and Mexico direct from Hamilton International Airport, your low-cost airport. Your next report at 10:01 with the extended forecast. Here's Carl Lamb.
A cold front is dropping through the area. It's also going to drop temperatures as well. We head down to -3 and a wind chill of -8. Winds are going to start lightening up as we head toward midnight. For tomorrow, 0 with a mix of sun and cloud. Wednesday for Christmas, mostly cloudy and a high of 4 degrees. And Boxing Day is when we could see our next chance of some rain making its way in, and also potentially mixing with some ice pellets the further east you go, and a high of 3 degrees. Tonight's overnight low, -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, an overcast sky, 5 degrees, 4 degrees at Pearson Airport. This extended forecast is brought to you by Scotia iTrade. Direct invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99 pricing, or up to 500 free equity trades. Details at scotiaitrade.com/winter20.
Coming up at 10 o'clock, the latest on homicide investigation into a fatal stabbing in the city's Parkdale neighborhood.
680 News Time 9:54.
I'm off the medications and I feel great because I lost the weight that was making me sick. And you can too. I'm Pat Carano, a 51-year-old accounting professional from Woodbridge. Sleep apnea, sciatica, I had it all until I lost the weight and kept it off with the team at Harvey Brooker Weight Loss for Men.
Don't miss 20% off 2020 memberships. New members only. Call now, 416-222-9887. HarveyBrooker.com.
If you could do it alone, you would have done it already.
Now you can listen to 680 News on your Sonos smart speaker, Amazon Echo, or any Google Chromecast-enabled device, like Google Home, with the free Radio Player Canada app.
In the car, tune in using Radio Player on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Radio Player Canada. It's where Canadian radio plays.
A U.S. congressional panel has filed court papers that suggest they might be recommending more articles of impeachment against President Donald Trump.
The House Judiciary Committee is keeping open the possibility of additional charges as it pressed a federal appeals court to order testimony from former White House counsel Don McGahn. The committee is investigating potential obstruction of justice by President Trump during special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. The Justice Department has asked the appeals court to dismiss the request, saying it's less urgent now since the House has already moved ahead with articles of impeachment, even without the testimony of the former White House lawyer. Arguments are scheduled to be heard early next month. Jackie Quinn, Washington.
This is 680 News. Coming up in just 60 seconds, our business report.
680 News Time 9:55.
Some things just don't fit, like a car that doesn't suit your lifestyle. That's why Toyota offers the fun-to-drive Corolla, with available winter features like heated seats and heated side mirrors. Find the Toyota that's right for you. Lease the 2020 Corolla L for as low as $58 weekly at 2.99% APR for 52 months with $0 down, or finance at 0.49% APR for 36 months. Visit your local Ontario Toyota dealer or shoptoyota.ca. Some conditions apply.
Enjoy a great big winter welcome in New York City. Seize the season with Porter Airlines at a special offer called NYC Winter Outing. This offer includes 2-for-1 tickets to top attractions and Broadway shows, plus prefix deals at the best restaurants. Make it happen January 21 through February 9 by booking your flight to New York City with Porter Airlines. Visit flyporter.com/NY. Porter, flying refined.
680 News Time 956.
Now time for the 680 News Business Report with Richard Southern.
It's a catastrophe at the box office for Universal's Cats. The film adaptation of Andrew Lloyd Webber's hit musical cost $100 million to make, but returned a completely disastrous $6.5 million this past weekend. The film featured complicated CGI effects that turned its star-studded cast into realistic-looking cats, but clearly it was rushed. One of the scenes featured actress Judi Dench's real human hand instead of the furry paw she should have had. It even had her existing wedding ring on it. It was so bad that Universal has now notified theaters that it will send an updated version of the film. Meantime, Disney stock today fell 1.5% after the box office receipts for the new Star Wars movie failed to match the opening weekend performance of some of the other Star Wars flicks. Still, the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker pulled in $175.5 million, the third best weekend for any movie this particular year. A nice ending for the stock's performance today. We had the TSX up 10 points, a record high for Canada's main stock index at 17,128. Dow up 96 points, a record 28,551. S&P up 2, a record at 32.24. Nasdaq up 20 points. Gold at $1,488, up almost $8. Oil higher to $60.52. All right, time to take a look back at the year that was. What was the biggest economic surprise for CIBC's chief economist, Avery Schenfeld? What was it, Avery?
Well, the biggest surprise was actually that when we got the third quarter economic numbers, that Statistics Canada actually upgraded the growth for some of the prior quarter. And that's the reason why the Bank of Canada hasn't seen fit to cut interest rates.
Canadian dollar moving higher, 76.08 cents US. At the Business Center, I'm Richard Southern.
Penny.
Why did I wait so long?
Penny.
Our patients tell us that all the time
We don't
at the
have pennies
Herzig Eye
no more, so
Institute.
it's still 75
I'm Sherry Tabb,
cents.
co-founder of the Herzig Eye Institute. And Dr. Herzig and I want to ask you, why have you waited so long? You could finally be free from glasses, contacts, even reading glasses. Google high-definition vision. Learn about Herzig. Call us for a consultation. There's no charge. Afterwards, you'll say, why did I wait so long? Look after yourself. Promise me.
In this corner, just looking for clean dishes, it's you. And in this corner, smelling like old cheese, it's your dishwasher from the 80s.
Oh, boxing and appliance references? That can only mean one thing. Boxing Day savings are coming to Appliance Canada. Find incredible Boxing Day specials and savings at Appliance Canada. Fridges, dishwashers, ranges, washers, and dryers. Upgrade your kitchen and your life for less with Appliance Canada. Visit appliancecanada.com for a location near you in Toronto, Vaughan, or Mississauga. Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for Walmart.
Walmart is opening all checkouts from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. now until Christmas. Save time on your holiday shop as you check out Walmart's unbeatable low prices.
In Calden, mostly cloudy, 2 degrees right now in downtown Toronto, overcast and 5. This is CFTR 680 News Time, 10 o'clock.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Good evening. This is Monday, December 23rd. I'm Scott Burnett.
And I'm Eden Beba. Here's what's making news this hour.
Police investigating the city's 73rd homicide of 2019. A man succumbing to his injuries tonight after being stabbed this afternoon in Parkdale.
Police are asking for your help in finding a missing 12-year-old girl last seen near Leslie and Finch.
Just hours after 2 young men were killed by an alleged drunk driver in Scarborough, community safety advocates are urgently reminding you to drink responsibly this holiday season.
It was a couple days before Christmas, and all I can say, there's no snow in the forecast, which means a non-white Christmas day. Details coming up in the forecast.
Raptors comeback falls just short in overtime, and the Maple Leafs win their 5th straight. Sports at 15.
Another big rally for stocks today, a record-breaking performance for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Boeing stock surges as the CEO resigns. Business at 26.
10:01.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. First up, the traffic center. We say good evening, Michael Ranger.
Good evening, Scott. This report brought to you by Viva Next. We're looking at a pretty quiet drive right now. Major routes are all up to speed. We've got a little bit of construction on the eastbound 407 right now from Mavis to here, Ontario. Crews are working in the 2 right lanes there. Because of that spot of construction, the northbound Mavis ramp onto the eastbound 407 is closed. Just have a traffic spotter call in and let us know. Westbound 401 approaching Bayview in the collectors, some debris in the middle lanes, cars swerving around that, so just be careful if you're driving through there. Once again, that's westbound 401 collectors approaching the ramps to Bayview. And that's the only issues right now on the major routes. Everything else is up to speed. We've got a couple of issues on city streets right now, a collision at Finch and Midland. We've got emergency crews on scene there. Unsure of any lane closures right now, but just be careful if you're driving through that area. And then Jameson is closed in both directions right now from King to Queen, and that is for an ongoing police investigation. It's the season of giving in Richmond Hill and Newmarket, and your local shops and businesses can help you find what you're looking for. Stop, shop, and dine on Yonge Street, Richmond Hill, and Newmarket. Visit vivanext.com. Your next report is at 10:11. Now with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
That cold front is going to swing through the GTA, dropping us down to -3, wind chill -8 with a partly cloudy sky. And we do have a cooler Christmas Eve on tap, a mix of sun and cloud, and just a high of 0. We'll see some more clouds by the afternoon. Tonight's overnight low -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, overcast skies, 5 degrees, and right now in downtown Toronto, partly cloudy and 4. 680 News Time, 10:03.
Police are investigating after a man was fatally stabbed in Parkdale this afternoon. Paramedics say the man died from his injuries earlier this evening in hospital. Police were called to the King and Jameson area just before 2 o'clock.
They're now searching for one suspect described as a black male that was seen fleeing the scene on foot. The investigation has been taken over by the Homicide Division, and anyone with any information is being asked to contact police.
A 12-year-old girl has gone missing this afternoon. Police are looking for your help to find her. Lucille Lee was last seen today wearing a purple winter jacket, black pants near the Leslie and Finch area around 4:30 this afternoon. She's described as 5'3", Asian, about 100 pounds, with long black hair. Anyone with information is asked to contact police.
680 News Time, 10:04. The man alleged to have hit and killed 2 college students with his car last night has been denied bail today. Michael Johnson, 40, from Pickering, has been identified as the man allegedly responsible for the deadly crash. The judge's words as they denied bail: it would be unfair to the public. Johnson now expected back in court on January 3rd.
Well, it is a reminder that apparently needs to be repeated again and again. Police urging you to stay sober, stay alert, and stay safe behind the wheel as they continue their annual ride program. 680's Mama Qureshi with more.
With Christmas just a couple days away and holiday parties in full swing, Toronto police are here in Scarborough trying to make sure people are driving responsibly.
How's your heart today? Good. Just in the right spot. Any alcohol tonight? No. All right, thanks.
Unfortunately, this ride check is very timely, with 2 Centennial College students being struck and killed by an alleged impaired driver last night. Sergeant Jason Kraft with Traffic Services says those types of crashes do not have to happen.
Impaired-related offenses are 100% preventable. If you're going to get behind the wheel of a vehicle, you have to have 0 alcohol, 0 drugs on board, and you have to have an undivided attention while operating such.
A 40-year-old man is facing several charges. In Scarborough, I'm Momin Qureshi.
Meantime, a 37-year-old man is also facing impaired driving charges after a Good Samaritan noticed his erratic driving and called 911.
Yeah, there's a guy in a vehicle who's drunk out of his mind.
Where?
Bathurst and Bloomington.
Okay, and which direction did he go?
The green Subaru Outback.
You can watch the video on YRP's YouTube page. York Regional Police say the number of impaired driving incidents continues to rise. This year, more than 1,600 people were charged with impaired driving. They add that more than 3,000 people have already been called to reports of a suspected impaired driver, which has helped improve road safety dramatically. If you see a dangerous driver, you're being asked to contact police immediately.
Provincial police are investigating after a body was found inside of a damaged truck in Guelph today. Officers got the call in response to reports of a car crash in the Guelph or Eramosa area around 1 o'clock this afternoon. They received reports that a truck crashed into a wooded area, and when they arrived at the scene, found the damaged pickup and a body inside. Still no word on that victim's identity or the cause of the collision or the victim's cause of death, for that matter. Anyone with information about the crash has to contact provincial police.
Back to the city now, where a 70-year-old man is in hospital with serious injuries after being hit by a car shortly after 2 o'clock. It happened in Mississauga near Kennedy and Indian Summer Trail area. It's unclear as of right now whether the man was crossing the street or on the sidewalk when it happened. Field police say the driver involved remained on scene.
This is 680 News. It may officially be winter, but it seems more like Mother Nature didn't get the message. 680's meteorologist Carol Lamb says we're looking at a few dry days.
You can thank the warmer weather for the green Christmas we're about to have. We've had temperatures like today getting up to 9 degrees and abundant sunshine that's done lots of the melting of any existing snow. And I think tomorrow and Wednesday, it's really just a quiet pair of days coming up for Christmas Eve and for Christmas.
On the bright side, the lack of snow will certainly be good for the roads.
680 News Time, 10:07. The man accused of throwing buckets of feces on several people in Toronto was back in court today. 23-year-old Samuel Opoku made an appearance to ensure he's meeting the conditions of his bail. His lawyer, Jordan Wise, says that he wants to ensure his client is receiving the care and attention he deserves.
Mr. Opoku is doing very well. I think it's clear that he's certainly doing a lot better than he was a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. Things are improving for him. Things are improving in terms of his mental condition. Things are improving in terms of his stability.
Opoku was arrested by Toronto police last month after 3 attacks in and around U of T and York University. He's being charged with 5 counts each of mischief and assault with a weapon.
A 41-year-old man is facing multiple charges after the second largest fentanyl bust in Durham region. Durham police say 5 search warrants were executed in Project Berza across Toronto, York, and Durham. About $1.5 million worth of drugs has been seized, including almost 15 kilos of fentanyl, as well as meth, cocaine, and MDMA. Investigators also recovering a loaded firearm, ammunition, and $70,000 cash.
680 News Time, 10:08. Police are investigating after a number of tow trucks were set on fire here in Toronto and York region early this morning. As 680's Phil Martino tells us, investigators confirmed they're dealing with arson.
3 tow trucks caught fire in North York within 30 minutes of each other, starting around 3:30 a.m. Stephen Powell, District Chief with Toronto Fire, says the most serious blaze occurred on Drury Avenue near Bathurst and Finch, where flames spread to a garage and a house.
The vehicles were unattended when this happened.
Toronto police confirmed they've been classified as arsons and are believed to be linked. York Regional Police Constable Laura Nicole says around the same time as these fires, 2 tow truck fires were reported in Richmond Hill.
In both cases, it was tow trucks that we are believing were intentionally set on fire.
No injuries have been reported in any of these incidents. Police will not comment on any connection to a possible tow truck war. I'm Phil Martino.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we'll check on the price of the pumps.
680 News Time, 10:09.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2019.
Now the 680 News gas price update and saying price of gas not going to change at midnight, holding at $1.18.9 a liter.
680 News Time, 10:10.
Stay one step ahead of the competition with 680 News.
I'm Steve Friedman from the Chesterfield Shop. We've been in business since 1948 and have 5 locations in and around the GTA selling contemporary leather and fabric seating. The Chesterfield Shop has been advertising for over 10 years with 680 News. We find that we are growing our ad dollars with them because the ads are most effective. People know us, they trust us, but we know we have to keep a fresh face out there so that people will come and see what's new at the Chesterfield Shop.
Why choose 680 News?
These days, when there's so many different options and opportunities and different media, we find that radio and 680 News in particular are very effective in getting across our message.
And 680 News helps you reach the customers you're looking for?
680 News absolutely brings in the right demographic for us. People who listen to the ads, they're invested in beautifying their homes and enhancing their lifestyle. And we think that it's a perfect match.
Get 680 News working for you. Call 680 News Advertising at 416-935-NEWS.
680 News Time, 10:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger.
This report brought to you by your local Mazda dealer. We've got a couple of issues on the 401 right now.
Eastbound 401 collectors approaching Kiel. We've got the left lane blocked, cruiser on scene there. There's a disabled vehicle. And then other side of the highway, westbound 401 collectors, traffic spotter letting us know that there's some debris in the middle lanes approaching Bayview. Just called MTO to let them know, so they're on their way to clean that up. Just be careful if you're driving through there. A person who called in says traffic is swerving out of the way of a metal shrapnel that's in the middle lanes of the westbound 401 collectors. In terms of delays right now, major routes are in good shape, though. We do have a little bit of construction on the eastbound 407, Mavis to here, Ontario, 2 right lanes blocked for roadwork. Because of that spot of construction, the northbound Mavis ramp onto the eastbound 407 is closed as well. And that's really it right now for the major routes. All the other major routes are up to speed. We've got a couple of issues on city streets right now. A collision at Finch and Midland. We've got emergency crews on scene there. And Jameson is closed in both directions between King and Queen. That is for an ongoing police investigation. Road has been closed since this afternoon. The Mazda year-end event is on now. Get up to $1,500 year-end event bonus on select new Mazda models. Visit your local Mazda dealer today. Your next report is at 10:21 now with the forecast. Here's Carl Lamb.
After a warm day, bundle up if you're headed out this evening. We have temperatures falling tonight, and that cold front moves through. We will have an overnight low of -3 and that wind chill of -8 for tomorrow. Christmas Eve, a high of 0 with a mix of sun and cloud, and it will be on the cooler side, but not as windy. And then for Christmas Day, mostly cloudy and a high of +4. Tonight's overnight low, -3.
Downtown Toronto right now, we've got an overcast sky sitting at 5 degrees, partly cloudy, and 4 degrees over at Pearson International Airport. 680 news time. 10:13. Remember, 680 News is the only Toronto radio station with a weather guarantee. Our jackpot today, $10,100. Wow, if your chance at that cash, head to 680news.com/contests. The director of the latest Star Wars movie responding to his critics. No one's ever really gone.
There's a lot of love for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, but if you've been on Twitter the past couple of days, there are also a lot of unhappy fans. The film earned a B+ cinema score from moviegoers opening weekend, the lowest score of any Star Wars movie to date. So for those that don't like it,
I'd say that they're right.
Director J.J. Abrams was asked about the criticism after a screening over the weekend.
We knew starting this, any decision we made, a design decision, a musical decision, a narrative decision, would please someone and infuriate someone else. And they're all right.
Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
680 news time at 10:14 in 60 seconds. We'll recap your top stories.
Missed out on Black Friday bargains? Don't worry. Hi, I'm Sean from New Balance Toronto, and we're gearing up for our Boxing Day blowout. From December 26th to January 12th, we're giving you the best prices of the year. Save up to 50% off footwear, apparel, and accessories. With deals like these, it's the perfect time to try something new or just stock up on the styles you love. New Balance Toronto, your fit specialist for 19 years. Some conditions apply. See store for details.
You head out the front door and head to the car. Slide into the driver's seat and begin. Every time you start your car should be the start of an adventure. Where will yours take you? At Von Chrysler Fiat, we want you to be satisfied from the moment you walk in till the moment you drive off the lot. Come in today to start your adventure. Von Chrysler Fiat. We stand behind our cars. Join the family at VonChrysler.com. This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Partly cloudy now in downtown Toronto, sitting at 5 degrees. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Scott Burnett. Thanks for joining us. Here are the top stories this hour. The man stabbed around 2 o'clock this afternoon near King and Jameson in Parkdale has died of his injuries, becoming the city's 73rd homicide victim of the year. Police continue the hunt for suspects. Toronto police asking for your help finding a missing 12-year-old girl last seen near Leslie and Finch around 4:30 this afternoon. Lucia Lee is Asian, 5'3", 100 pounds with long black hair. Last seen wearing a purple winter jacket and black pants. And no snow expected in the forecast, meaning your Christmas Eve and Christmas Day probably won't have any snowman building, while we could get soaked on Boxing Day with showers expected. Your forecast coming up. And coming up after sports, things getting shaky out west after a series of earthquakes strike off the coast of Vancouver. 680 News Time, 10:15. Well, that means it's time for 680 Sports. For that, we go to Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Andy McNamara Mer.
Well, thank you, Scott. The Raptors took the Pacers to overtime, but were unable to finish the comeback following 120-115. That ends Toronto's 5-game winning streak. Next up is the Christmas Day game versus Boston. The Maple Leafs sent their fans into the holiday break happy with a wild one against the Hurricanes. Here's how it finished.
The Leafs miraculously come from behind after leading 3-0 to win the game 8-6.
Joe Bowen with the call on Sportsnet 590. The Fan. The Leafs sit second in the Atlantic and get back at it Friday in New Jersey. Some finals from around the NHL. Wild shut out the Flames 3-0. Bruins slammed the Capitals 7-3. Lightning declaw the Panthers 6-1. Ottawa defeats the Sabres 3-1. And in Monday Night Football, the Packers trailed the Vikings 10-9 in the third quarter. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid on TV and radio. Sports at 590. The Fan.
680 News Time, 10:17.
Smaller businesses can't keep up with the big guys with help from 680 News.
My name is Steve Forberg, and I'm the CEO of Decorium. Decorium is a retail furniture showroom. My family's been in the furniture business for over 3 generations now. The only station that we're on the radio with is 680 News.
How does 680 News help you achieve your advertising goals?
Well, our advertising goal is to reach, obviously, as many of our demographic as we possibly can. And with 680 News, that gives us the ability to get a greater reach out there in the marketplace over some other mainstream media.
What type of response has Decorium had from 680 News listeners?
When we get on 680 News and our spots hit the air, our phone starts ringing. We can see an uptick in our in-store traffic, and it really creates the awareness that we're looking for.
Would you recommend 680 News to others?
I would absolutely recommend advertising on 680 News to other businesses. Our feeling is if you're going to be on the radio, you might as well be with the best station.
Get 680 News working for you. Call 680 News Advertising at 416-935-NEWS.
We'll get you home with the best local traffic reports on the ones on 680 News.
680 News Time, 10:18. Officers investigating the death of a woman killed outside a homeless shelter in the city's Donlands neighborhood 22 years ago say they have not been able to solve the case despite having the killer's DNA. Malia Sheikh of City News has more on police's plea to find her killer.
22 years later, still no suspect. Toronto police are now sharing new details with the public regarding DNA. It's believed to be of the offender, and it was found on 21-year-old Lisa Lynn Anstey.
We've also run it through what's called forensic phenotyping technology, and it's able to tell us that we are looking for a specific person. And I can tell you that we're looking for a person that is going to be a white person.
While there's more information on this cold case, the investigation faces challenges. Police are looking for a suspect's name. Anyone with any information is being asked to contact Crime Stoppers or police. You can do so anonymously. Malia Sheikh, City News, near Front and Cherry Street.
680 News Time at 10:19. A close call for Canadians out west. A series of earthquakes shaking up the area under the Pacific Ocean more than 100 kilometers northwest of northern Vancouver Island. 3 large quakes were recorded by Earthquakes Canada, one measuring 5.1, another at 5.6, and a bigger one at 5.8. Andrew Schaefer of Earthquakes Canada saying it's very unlikely anyone actually felt them, though.
It would be pretty hard to distinguish it from a big truck driving by a few hundred meters away, sort of thing. It's far enough away that even something that large isn't that very strongly felt.
Schaefer says the area where today's quakes occurred is well known for generating quakes above magnitude 5. A major change at the head of Boeing.
Boeing CEO Dennis Muhlenberg has resigned. Advocates and family members of victims have been critical of Boeing's leadership since the deadly MAX crashes, accusing the company of putting profits before people's safety. The crisis deepened last week when Boeing announced it will suspend all production of the MAX in January. From the Canadian Press, I'm Blake Lambert.
680 News Time, 10:20.
How does Sugar Plum Fairy transform Canada's Wonderland into the world of Winterfest?
We need lights, millions of them, a gigantic Christmas tree, and Snoopy and the Peanuts gang, and ice skating and carolers spreading cheer. And more lights, and a heap of live shows and family rides. With lights!
Hurry, the magic only lasts on the world of Canada's Wonderland's Winterfest. Select dates through December 31st.
Don't miss the final days of Winterfest. Open daily Thursday through December 31st. Save on tickets at Canada'sWonderland.com.
2 weeks and 800 websites later, I finally found it. The perfect holiday gift for our daughter.
Really?
Yep, toe socks.
Toe socks?
Yeah, socks with toes.
Every toe's a different color.
Bob, did you check We.org?
We what?
We.org. They have so many gifts. You can give a donation, buy chocolate, beautiful jewelry, and they all change lives.
Oh, I missed the site.
Bob, leave the gifts to me.
Oh, okay.
This holiday, gift good. Shop, donate at we.org.
680 News Time, 1021, traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger.
This report's brought to you by UNICEF Canada. We had a couple of issues on the 401, eastbound 401 collectors at Kiel. There was a stalled vehicle in the left lane. Crews have dealt with that. That's all clear. Other side of the highway, westbound 401 collectors approaching Bayview. Traffic spotter called in, let us know about some debris in the middle lanes. MTO was notified about that about 15 minutes ago. So they've probably dealt with that. If not, they're on scene right now dealing with that. Those are the only issues on the major routes right now. We do have a little bit of construction on the 407, eastbound 407 from Mavis to Huron, Ontario. Crews working in the two right lanes with the lightly traveled roads right now, though that's not causing any delays. Because of that construction, the northbound Mavis ramp onto the eastbound 407 is closed. All your other major routes up to speed right now. DVP 404 northbound, southbound, no delays. Gardner looks good in both directions. So does the QEW 403, 410, 427, all up to speed in both directions. We do have a couple of issues on city streets right now. Finch and Midland emergency crews on scene for a collision there, and Jameson Avenue closed in both directions right now between King and Queen. That's for an ongoing police investigation. Road's been closed since early this afternoon. This holiday season, fill your shopping cart with gifts like education, clean water, healthy food, and warm clothes for children around the world. Shop UNICEF Survival Gifts at unicef.ca. Next report is at 10:31. Now with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
Partly cloudy tonight, and that cold front moves through, which will drop temperatures as well. Those winds do lighten up as we head toward midnight. Low of -3 will feel like -8. For tomorrow, a high of 0, a mix of sun and cloud, and then we'll see some more clouds as we head toward the afternoon and evening. By Wednesday,
I know
it's
they
mostly
have nothing.
cloudy
I'm
day,
sitting here
a high of
listening.
4 degrees, and then by Thursday, that's when we could see our next chance of some rain and also the potential for some ice pellets further east, a high of 3 degrees on Boxing Day. Tonight's overnight low, -3.
Right now in downtown Toronto, we got a partly cloudy sky at 5 degrees, partly cloudy and 3 at Pearson Airport. Coming up at 10:30, police investigating the city's 73rd homicide of the year after a man was stabbed in Parkdale this afternoon. Police also also searching for a missing 12-year-old girl who was last seen in the Finch and Leslie area this afternoon. Details straight ahead.
2001 Audio Video's Boxing Day sale is on now. All locations are jam-packed with wall-to-wall specials. From 4K smart TVs to the best in streaming and home audio. All on sale at 2001 for the absolute lowest price anywhere. Wrap up all your Christmas shopping at 2001, the home entertainment experts. 2001. When news breaks, the 680 News Cruiser is there, covering the story live from the scene.
24/7 in your community.
The 680 News Cruiser.
Powered by Don Valley North Toyota.
Breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
The new Netflix show The Witcher, starring Henry Cavill, is based on the popular series of fantasy books turned video games that was released over the weekend. And the series showrunner is already responding to mixed reviews from critics. Don't judge me.
They say witches can't feel human emotion. What do you believe in?
The show is sitting at a mere 53% on Rotten Tomatoes with an average audience score of 92. Lauren S. Hisrich, the show's creator and showrunner, tweeting out, "Who do I care about? Professional critics who watched one episode and skipped ahead, or real fans who watched all 8 in one day and are starting their rewatch?" End quote. Hisrich has an impressive resume working on shows like The West Wing, Daredevil, and Umbrella Academy, and The Witcher has already been renewed for a 2nd season.
Celebrate the holiday magic this December at Casa Loma during a Nutcracker Christmas at the Castle. Enjoy a host of exciting family activities and performances, including illusionist Professor Wick, Police on Ice, plus visit Santa's workshop for your photo with Santa and more. The castle will be dazzling with festive decor and a 40-foot signature tree. And from December 16th to 30th, you can also explore Casa Loma by night as you wander through the lighting display in the gardens. Info and tickets at casaloma.ca.
It's year-end. Time to award yourself a performance bonus. During their year-end sell-down, lease a 2019 Q7 SUV from 1.98% for 48 months. Plus, receive up to $5,000 in Audi event credits and a 5-year, 80,000-kilometer maintenance plan. Quattro all-wheel drive performance. Bonus offers. Reward yourself at the all-new Audi Queensway and AudiQueensway.ca. Drive well. Drive safe.
Time for all Christmas news on the 25 is brought to you by the Business Magic of the Holidays. Not taking care of your Christmas tree could be dangerous.
John Drengenberg is the Consumer Safety Director for Underwriters Laboratories.
The one statistic that is so interesting, and most people don't realize that no matter how well you keep your tree watered, they'll really only last for about 4 weeks maximum. So you have to plan your traditions around that 4-week limit.
He reminds you not all electric decorations can be used outdoors. And if you're using LED Christmas lights, you don't have to worry much about plugging too many into one outlet. But if you're using the screw-in type bulbs, no more than 50 should be plugged into each outlet. I'm Jim Benny.
Christmas news at 25 minutes past every hour on 680 News.
Here's Richard. Record-breaking close for the Toronto and New York stock markets. TSX up 10 points today, 17,128. The Dow up 96 to 28,251. S&P 500 gains 2 points. The Nasdaq gains 20. Investors taking some solace in the fact that there were reports that China would cut some tariffs on U.S. imports. As well, Boeing showing its CEO the door, Dennis Muhlenberg, over the 737 MAX scandal, and that lifted Boeing stock 2.9%, $337.55. A bit of disappointing economic news, though, on the Canadian side. Canada's economy shrinking in October, down 0.1%. First monthly decline since February. Avery Shenfield is the senior economist at CIBC.
We had already seen reports that volumes of sales for manufacturers, wholesalers, retailers were all down in the same month of October. So it wasn't really a big surprise that overall economic activity also declined that month. But more worrisomely, it does extend a trend. It's really been back to June before you find a month that was solid for the Canadian economy.
You know, some say we're headed towards a possible recession in the new year. What's your take on that, Avery?
It's certainly still true that some of the things we've been worried about over the past year, particularly the sluggishness in manufacturing, not just in Canada, but globally, that's still very much there. So I think sluggish growth is the order of the day, but not necessarily an outright recession.
All eyes on the Bank of Canada now. Pressure certainly on, perhaps, for the bank to cut rates when it meets again on the 22nd of January. Gold up more than $8, $1,489. Oil to $60.70. Canadian dollar 76.06 cents US. And at the Business Center, I'm Richard Southern.
Hey everyone, Sam from Best Brand Appliance. So us and Sub-Zero Wolf are bringing you just in time for the holiday season, the Sub-Zero Wolf outlet between 25 to 45% off Sub-Zero and Wolf. An incredible opportunity for all of you who are building or renovating, and also an amazing opportunity for all you designers and builders to get your clients massive discounts on Sub-Zero Wolf. This is in-store only, so just come to our Toronto or Vaughan location and see our amazing reps. If you're seeking Sub-Zero Wolf, come see the Sub-Zero Wolf outlet now at Best Brand Appliance.
Thanks to you, my daddy got home safely from his day at work.
Thanks to you, my daughter got home safely from her girlfriend's party on the weekend.
Thanks to you, my brother and I go to and from practice every week.
Most of us do our part to keep our roads safe by driving sober. We plan ahead, designate a driver, take taxis or transit, stay over, or call home. Thank you for driving sober. A message from Arrive Alive, Drive Sober, and CAA. To find out more, visit arrivealive.org.
680 News Time, 10:30.
Number one for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good evening. This is Monday, December the 23rd. I'm Eden Debeba.
I'm Scott Burnett. Here's what's making news this hour.
Homicide detectives are now investigating a fatal stabbing in the city's West End.
Toronto police looking for a missing 12-year-old girl last seen in the Leslie and Finch area this afternoon.
A 40-year-old man won't be released on bail after 2 international students were killed in a serious car crash.
It's a good thing Santa Sleigh can fly, since it doesn't look like much snow will be on the ground this Christmas. A full weather forecast just seconds away.
The Maple Leafs won a wild one at home over Carolina, and the Raptors' comeback falls short in overtime. Sports at 45.
Record-breaking close for the TSX, Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ. And with the decade wrapping up, we're looking at how the TSX has done over the past 10 years, including the top-performing stocks in business at 50 cents.
680 News Time, 10:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger.
This report is brought to you by TSC. We're still looking at a quiet drive right now. All your major routes are up to speed. We've just got a little bit of overnight construction on the roads on the eastbound 407 from Mavis to Huron, Ontario. Crews working in the two right lanes there with the light traffic on the roads, so that's not causing any delays. And we just had a little bit more construction pop up on the westbound 401 in the express going by the 403, 410. They've set up in the right lane. Looks like things slowing down just a little bit there. Maybe traffic just slowing down because of the flashing lights of the maintenance vehicles. Again, light traffic on the road, so that's not going to cause any significant delays right now. All your other major routes are up to speed. 404 DVP northbound and southbound, no issues. Gardner looks good eastbound and westbound. QEW up to speed in both directions. On city streets, we did have crews dealing with a crash at the intersection of Finch and Midland in Scarborough. That has now cleared. We've got another crash on Wilson Avenue at Lexfield Avenue. That's between Jane and Keele. Emergency crews on scene there. And we have Jameson Avenue still closed in both directions between King and Queen. That's for an ongoing police investigation. Road has been closed since early this afternoon. Make cooking for the whole family quick and easy with Curtis Stone's Dura Electric Skillet. Get it tomorrow at TSC at an exclusive price. Shop tsc.ca, today's shopping choice. Your next report is at 10:41 with the forecast. Here's Carl Lamb.
It will be a cool night across the GTA. Those winds will eventually die down after about midnight, and we'll have a partly cloudy sky down to -3. And for tomorrow, it sets up for a colder day. We do have a mix of sun and cloud, a high of 0, and tomorrow's low -1. We'll see some more clouds by the afternoon as well. Tonight's overnight low -3.
Downtown Toronto right now, partly cloudy, 5 degrees. 680 News Time, 10:32.
Detectives are investigating the city's 73rd homicide of the year after a man was fatally stabbed in the Parkdale area earlier this afternoon. Paramedics say the man succumbed to his injuries in hospital.
Police telling 680 News officers were called to the King and Jameson area around 2 o'clock. Detective Sergeant Rob North saying they are now searching for one suspect.
Us to believe that there's an altercation, obviously, between two individuals. Our victim, who's now deceased, and a male, light-skinned black, who has fled the scene on foot.
Anyone who may have witnessed the incident being asked to contact police.
And police are asking for your help in finding a missing 12-year-old girl. Lucia Lee was last seen in the Leslie and Finch area around 4:30 this afternoon. She's described as Asian, 5'3", weighing 100 pounds with long black hair, last seen wearing a purple jacket and black pants. Duty Inspector Stacey Davis says they're concerned for the girl's safety and a command center has been set up at her school. If you've seen her or know where she is, you're being asked to contact Toronto Police.
680 News Time at 10:34. The man who allegedly hit and killed 2 international college students last night has been denied bail today. 40-year-old Michael Johnson from Pickering has been identified as the man apparently responsible for the collision. The judge, while denying bail to Johnson, said it, quote, wouldn't be fair to the public to release him. The Pickering man is back in court January 3rd.
Meantime, police are urging drivers to be careful out on the roads as they continue to roll out their annual ride program.
A long line of cars goes up the street in Scarborough as Toronto police are holding a holiday ride check program, trying to make sure people are driving responsibly.
Question is, any alcohol today? No? Okay. Working hard? All right, so that's it. Thank you.
It comes after 2 teenage boys who were Centennial College students were struck and killed by an alleged impaired driver last night. Sergeant Jason Kraft with Traffic Services says there have been about the same number of impaired driving charges this year that there were last year, and that's a problem.
So we're about the same, just slightly higher.
Is that disappointing to you that the numbers are almost exactly the same?
Absolutely. The number one is just disappointing to me. The fact that impaired driving related collisions and deaths are 100% preventable.
In Scarborough, I'm Owen Qureshi.
Meantime, a Good Samaritan called 911 after noticing a drunk driver on the road.
Oh, it's funny, but this is
okay, well, he's in the gas station. He's trying to ask you for direction. He was just slurring. Oh, now he's trying to make a U-turn. Oh, my God. You guys got to get here.
That call leading to the arrest of a 37-year-old man. You can watch that video on the YRP YouTube channel. Police say the number of impaired driving incidents has been steadily rising. This year, more than 1,600 people were charged. More than 3,000 people have called to report dangerous driving this year. If you suspect a dangerous driver, you're asked to contact police.
680 News Time, 10:35. Winter is here, although it may not feel or look like it outside. 680's meteorologist Carl Lamb says we can expect roads clear of weather hazards.
It really is just going to be very good for travel. No issues, no weather concerns to let you know about. But by Thursday, we start to see rain moving into the GTA. And I think for mainly areas in the western portion of the GTA and then also in the city as well, it will be mainly rain.
It may rain on your Boxing Day adventures, but at least we'll stay dry for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Provincial police say they're trying to identify a body that was found inside of a damaged pickup truck in Guelph. Officers were called to the area around 2:30 in the afternoon in response to reports of a single vehicle crash. Police say a witness reported seeing the truck in a wooded area. When they arrived, investigators found a body inside that vehicle. The identity of the victim and the cause of the collision remains under investigation. Anyone with information on this crash is asked to come forward.
This is 680 News. 23-year-old Samuel Mpoku is back in court today. He's the man accused of throwing buckets of feces on several people in Toronto last month. Mpoku's lawyer, Jordan Wise, says that his client appears in mental health court at Old City Hall.
Hopefully, everyone will be able to move on to the extent that that's possible. Yeah. Difficult, obviously, for the alleged victims, but this hopefully will just be a terrible chapter, and the entire city hopefully can move on.
Mpoku was arrested by Toronto police last month after 3 attacks in and around the University of Toronto and York University. He's being charged with 5 counts each of assault with a weapon and mischief. He was released on bail last week.
Police here in Toronto, York region as well, are investigating a string of suspicious overnight tow truck fires that all happened within minutes of each other. 680's Phil Martino tells us investigators are treating this as arson.
Those series of the fires happened near Finch and Bathurst around 3:30 a.m., according to Stephen Powell, District Chief with Toronto Fire.
And we found a tow truck that was all fired in very close proximity to a house.
A second tow truck fire was reported in the same area a few minutes later, and then a third near Yonge and Finch just before 4 a.m. Toronto police say they have been classified as arsons and are believed to be connected. In York Region, police are investigating 2 early morning tow truck fires in Richmond Hill. Both happened around 3:30 a.m. Constable Laura Cole says police believe they were intentionally set on fire. As for the possibility of this being a tow truck war,
this has certainly come up for us too. I've been asked this, and I know it's something our investigators are going to look at.
I'm Phil Martino.
It was gift time for the animals at the Toronto Zoo. Audra Brown of City News reports.
Because everyone deserves a Christmas gift.
Especially when they're enriching.
Purpose of these items are to have the animals promote their natural behavior. So if an animal in the wild would be tearing stuff up to find food, we like to give them items that they can do that. Depending on the species of animal, we provide them with a wide variety of different enrichment items.
And the special holiday wrapping for these festive enrichments were created by the public at events that were held over the past few days. And between Boxing Day and January 5th, you can witness several of the animals receiving their festive treats. At the Toronto Zoo, Audra Brown, City News.
Coming up, a check on the price of the pumps and traffic and weather together on the ones.
680 News Time, 10:39.
Need window inspiration? Then you need to speak to the experts. Hi, I'm Tom Rokiki of Inline Fiberglass Windows and Doors. Our window experts are experienced in working with architects, builders, and homeowners to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So whether you're replacing your old windows or building your dream home, dream the dream with Inline Fiberglass. If you can dream it, we can build it. Visit our Factory Direct showroom, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or inlinefiberglass.com.
Now, the 680 News gas price update. Enpro says the price of gas won't change at midnight. It's expected to hold at $1.18.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather together next.
680 News Time, 11:40.